Hello everyone, welcome to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Spoilercast Remake. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, and hopefully we can get through this without time ghosts changing the opinions or future of KZ from KZXcellent.com.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm a ghost who is here to ensure this podcast goes the way it's destined to go.
And Mr. Feel is joining us from the edge of creation. How's that going, Feel?
It's real deep off the edge.
Awesome, Bob's here. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Dan.
We're here to talk about our feelings and our general perspectives on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, the game that shipped on PS4 for some reason. We hope you stick around to hear what we enjoyed.
Because they promised 2015, play it first on PS4, then you'll want to play it somewhere else.
Yes.
We're going to have a reunion just on the other side of this squeeze through one moment.
Touching reunion.
And of course, at the end of all of this, we're going to give it a score, but we like to open these spoiler casts with us sort of going over our sort of like synopsis of how we felt about the game overall, and then we steer into conversations about specific bits, asking each other questions, bringing up things we thought were interesting, like, say, the quantity of squeeze-throughs, and then having a good old time talking about it.
But there's something we have to do first, Dan.
Oh no! What do we have to do first, Mr. Feel, from the edge of creation?
We have to clap for Bob for being right.
The only thing I could think about playing this game was, oh no, he might be right. Oh no. Oh yes.
So I want to get it out there up front. I didn't want to be right. I knew what I was saying was highly likely, and I wanted to be wrong more than anything in the world.
I think that came across in our episode of Gamer Premonitions Final Fantasy VII Remake, wherein months ago, Bob told us the plot of this game.
In August.
Was it August?
Yeah.
I thought it was sooner than that.
Yeah, it was August, and
We might have recorded that like a month before August.
that's true. It may have just
Okay, so
debuted in August.
you came up with that theory 9 months ago.
So, if you think we're calling bullshit, go back and listen to that. Bob called it.
I believe Bob's quote was, he gave that premonition followed by, and if they do this, it'll be terrible.
So please look forward to Bob's perspective as we carry through the spoiler cast. We should probably start getting to our encapsulated impressions. We're going to go ahead and start with KZ. KZ, what did you think of Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Final Fantasy VII Remake was a fantastic time. I really enjoyed the whole run. It was very stunning in the points that were not backgrounds. The combat felt really interesting and fun to figure out. It felt good to actually be challenged in a mainline Final Fantasy again. I think a lot of the writing for the characters and the banter and stuff was really good, and probably one of my favorite soundtracks this gen. Overall, just real satisfied with it.
Okay, we'll go ahead and jump to Bob next. Bob, what is your impression? What was your takeaway feeling from Final Fantasy VII Remake?
You're going to have one for everybody. Okay. I think that's interesting. Like, I feel like the combat's flawed in a lot of ways, but I do like the way that they really nailed the character interaction. Some of the stuff they added is really great. I feel like they put filler in some really poor places. Most of the side quests are incredibly bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then it sucker punches you at the end of the game. And all throughout, it keeps hinting at these awful things that it's done with the main story. So yeah.
Around.
I have a very mixed feelings on this game, and it's got a lot of squeeze shoes too.
Okay, Mr. Feel, what are your takeaway feelings of Final Fantasy VII Remake?
You can't call it that. That's already the name of something, Dan.
True, that is a mod.
Okay, give me a second. Whatever, Americanize it. Remako. There we go.
Right, just like a Mako shark.
Yes.
Which is why I've always pronounced it wrong.
Yeah. No. Go for it.
This game is really great, despite feeling like the last gen version of a real game. Like, even though I know that can't be the case, as much as I wish it was, and there was some magical version they'll release on the PS5 that has no squeeze-throughs.
Man.
I really liked the combat. I agree a little bit with Bob that it has edges that need smoothing out, but the concept behind it I really liked. I thought the side quests were about 70-30 pointless, actually good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked most of the new stuff. It's weird because most of the stuff that I think shot the pacing in the base of the skull was expansions of existing things and not new things.
I can agree with that.
I think they were a little bit scared of people screaming that about it only being Midgar, so they're like, this game has to be 5 hours longer than it should be.
They're like, create a couple of holes for characters to fall into that reveal a dungeon that they must do. That happens twice.
Yes, it does.
They fall into dungeons twice.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Those actually bother me less than some of the others.
Which we're going to have plenty of time to talk about over the next 3 years.
Yep.
I thought the ending was interesting. I had to play it twice and then sit on it for like 8 hours to formulate my opinions. And I can't really say much about it beyond I think it's interesting and could be real great or real bad, and that all depends on what happens in the next two games.
I for some reason, when Phil said it, I had to play it twice and then sit on it. For some reason, the mental image I had was a Ren and Stimpy-esque fat dude in a wife beater just going, as he scratches his chin and beads his eye.
I don't know why. I just thought of Kazooie sitting on an egg.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, no, Bob, you can't sit on the egg. You haven't unlocked the move yet.
Oh, don't worry. I have a perfect visual representation for you guys.
Oh, shit.
Let me find it. That was the expression I was making.
Yeah, that's it. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a game that it changes things about the original, and many of those changes I think are actually really good. If not wholly good, then interesting, and I would like to explore them some more. But I feel like the plot itself is being strangled by a theme that doesn't necessarily resonate with any of the characters other than Aerith, and I don't think it's executed in a way that's very elegant either. I think it sort of strangles the weight of other things going on, especially when you have a character die in the last trailer before you put out before a game comes out, and then undie them at the end of that scene. There's other things like that.
That final trailer is some clown shit.
It makes Kojima look like he's not even trying to spoil his game.
Yeah, right?
No, Kojima's still the worst.
Boss cutscene in that trailer.
I mean, they literally, they showed Rufus. They showed
literally everything was in that trailer, plus things that make you think this game is more than what it is actually.
They show.
So it is literally the worst thing imaginable.
They show
That's
the
really
second
funny,
to last
actually.
boss.
That's why I saw a bunch of people when that trailer came out saying, "What are they gonna do?" Because it just showed Sephiroth nuking the planet.
But as I'm sitting here saying like all these things about the plot, games are a lot more than just the plot. Overall, my opinion of the plot is very negative, and I do think it is strangely 7th generation of this game to have so many squeeze-throughs. I think it has more squeeze-throughs than every Naughty Dog game combined. Between that, the texture pop-in problems, and Cloud walking up to Chadley and going catatonic for 10 seconds straight as his heart sinks, wondering what's up with this child T-posing at him from the other side of Midgar. I think there are definitely a lot of rough edges here, but the combat I have found more enjoyable than the past few Final Fantasies, especially 15, and I wish it was tighter. but I did enjoy the combat more than that. I just think my number one takeaway has been I wish the plot was a bit more elegantly executed, or like I think the things they changed about the original were interesting and good, but I don't think this game itself had to be about the metaphor of it being a remake and the Whispers of Destiny being some weird allegory for the audience expectations. I don't think the first game in the remake series needed to be an announcement that they're going to change things. And I think regardless of what the next one is, you have plenty of moments like Sephiroth saying you have 7 seconds until the end. I'm curious what you do with it. Other moments like that where it's like Aerith touches Marlene and Marlene clearly gets a vision of something and Aerith's like, shh, neither they or the audience can know what you just saw. That maybe aren't the most delightful for me to mentally deal with in a patient way. And I don't think
put
future
things in Marlene's head.
I don't think future games are going to pay that off very well, but it's yeah. So my core problem with the plot is just I don't think it needed to be a giant allegory for or metaphor for remaking a game and the audience expectations of that, and ignoring the subtext, going super textual. The souls of the main cast coming back from the future to make sure they adhere to destiny is really fucking weird and kind of out of nowhere and not impactful.
Do we want to talk about that aspect? Because I heard maybe the dumbest and most hilarious thing about those 3 specific ones.
Yeah, let's real quick. What we're talking about is in the final battle, there were the 3 Whispers. One of them uses a sword, one of them attacks with fists, and the other one uses a gun.
So now,
and their scan text makes it real obvious what's going on.
It's like they come from the future, and I saw people saying, like, man, what if it's the three characters from Advent Children, the Sephiroth remnants, because they used that same set of weapons and they also summoned Bahamut.
That's no.
And I'm like, that's so stupid. It can't be that, but I thought it would have been hilarious.
Okay, I do. Since KZ brought up Advent Children, I now do have to mention this.
I prepared your gun.
The final boss. No, it's not a gun. It's just something that made me laugh. The final boss, you go into the no collateral damage dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought we were in the Advent Children dimension because Cloud suddenly gets the ability to cut through entire trains.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't do at any other point in the story, even when it would have been real useful.
Could you imagine? They're in the ghost train yard or the train graveyard, and they're just like, "Fuck these trains."
He got a lot stronger compared to chapter 3, where his sword got stuck on a door hinge, and he's gotten a lot better since then. He did not have elemental materia at the time.
He got dark souled when he tried to swing his sword and bounced off the geometry.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a huge problem in this game of, I can, in combat, jump 300 feet in the air. Oh, man. We can't possibly get over this small gap. This river in the source stage is impossible to cross. I mean,
the mirror combat, to me, for melee characters, is the weirdest thing in this game, because the concept of like, well, Barrett's your range guy and you have magic, you should use those, or you can run up and if they're directly above you as Cloud, leap 300 feet in the air, do a shitty 3-hit combo, and then drop like a rock.
I'm always willing to write it off as gameplay as an abstraction of events and not literal.
Yeah, but then in cutscenes, he does the insane stuff at the end, and even earlier,
I mean,
he jumped 300 feet to save some kids on a small island.
I mean, if you, even ignoring that, during a high-speed motorcycle chase, he leaps off of a motorcycle he's driving to land on the front half of another one and fuck it up with his sword before jumping back and getting a 10 out of 10 from every judge at the Olympics.
And if you didn't do that section well enough, Jessie will be like, you failed. Failed my test.
I'm going to be honest. I failed her test. I won. I got most optional trophies in the game. You know, like darts, pull-ups, squats, everything. I didn't even know that was a trophy, so I didn't know until the very end that I had missed that. And I was like, oh, damn.
I started losing it when you do it right, and she does like a motion of her trying to stay on, and it looks like she's just dry humping Cloud.
Well, that's because she is.
Yes.
That entire chapter is just that one Plague of Gripes drawing. Of Leon and Ashley from RE4.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
That's literally what it is.
I thought the expansion of Jessie as a character and her family and everything is interesting, and I wish we saw more of that. I wish there was more of that and less hour and a half of fighting enemies for Hojo's amusement.
Yeah, the Hojo cave is one of the worst pacing moments in the game.
Yes.
That one's the worst new one to me, but I think, first of all, the train graveyard the warehouse thing should have been entirely removed from the train graveyard.
I think
that should not have been in there.
I think that is a really neat idea placed at the absolute worst time in the story, right after the sewer, which was also way longer than it should have been.
It wasn't. The sewer was the first sewer is pretty short.
The first sewer is shorter than an hour, but when you put that back to back with another segment that's about an hour, and it's like, we're supposed to be hurrying back to like prevent thousands of people from dying, but we're sitting here having a sentimental moment with a fucking child ghost. This is killing me.
That's why they changed it a little bit, because in the original, Tifa's like, oh fuck, he's gonna drop the plate, we have to get back, and in this one we have like an hour of, no, he's bullshitting us. They're not really going to do that.
Which doesn't,
and it's solely to disarm the tension, because otherwise those two dungeons back to back would be even worse.
But see, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't really effectively disarm the tension, because you can hear that she doesn't believe the shit coming out of her mouth. And then eventually during the train graveyard, before you have the sentimental moments, two of them, I believe, you hear the radio broadcast of, we're going to drop the plate. Because the train...
Yeah, the ghost, the ghost possessed the train or something.
Yes, the ghost took the CB radio, tapped it into the fucking Turks.
Changed the station to the Turks, so they're like, yeah, we're about to take this shit down.
God, the train graveyard are so weird. The trains turn on, in one of them, it's like obvious that a ghost move it for you. Because there's like a ghost tornado behind it.
One of Quan Chi's Solnados appears behind you to push the train.
But only
Shao Kahn Solnados.
Sorry.
The second train you do that for just works and doesn't have a Solnado.
Yeah, that was really...
It's strange.
It was weird that the first one needed a Solnado and the other ones were like, we have wheels, idiot.
The train graveyard full of trains that function.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they're known for.
Well, you see, some of those trains did work, but they were trapped around other non-working trains.
That's what cranes are for.
No, cranes are for moving Aerith's fat ass only within the yellow parking zone.
No, that's not a crane.
Those are robot hands.
Those robot hands were cool. I thought the robot hands, while fucking ridiculous, were cool because they would fold in both directions. I thought that was neat.
You're like, yeah, sure, I'll pick her up. I'm going to watch him tilt his hand over. And then his fingers bent backwards. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
I spent maybe 2.5 more minutes than I needed to on one of them. Because I'm like, well, I can't move this one here because it stops moving here. Not realizing, oh, it's because I slightly need to move it to the left. It's hitting a piece of geometry and refusing to go further.
I got Aerith up on the hand, and I didn't understand that you had to set it on the yellow part. I thought you made it like level,
right? That's what
platform.
I did.
So I just kept slamming it into the wall, like, get off! And Aerith is like going, oh fuck, the whole time.
I kept trying to crush her skull with it. And she's like, Cloud, come on. This is not what a high five is.
I actually did this really perfectly until the last moment when, because hitting it left turns it it turns it counterclockwise, and then hitting it right hitting it left turns it clockwise, hitting it right turns it counterclockwise, which just seems really backwards. all the way till the end, I did fine. And then at the last second, I tried to bitch slap her off the thing, and she's like, Cloud!
Place!
I'm like, sorry. I forgot that left is right and right is left, and Master X Soldier, look up, now look down.
Look up again.
Look up again. They're like, Cloud, your eyes. Can you look up? Sorry, what were you going to say, Bob?
I was just going to say this whole section, all I could think of was that scene from Airplane, the movie, where it's just the announcer saying, the yellow zone is for loading and unloading cargo. The white zone is for parking. And then they keep arguing with each other over the announcements. Like, that's just could not leave my head. We had these sectioned off areas that were for loading and unloading Aerith.
Yes. That's what they are. I thought they were just for crates, but no, they're also for Aerith's apparently fat ass, deceptively fat ass. I assume she has a Zelda situation going on.
There's a reason I changed my display name to Aerith Wife Guy.
You know, I was wondering how they would handle her character, and surprisingly, like all of the character writing in this is really solid. Lost it at she's like, I don't need to be saved or anything. Climbing up a ladder, ladder breaks. Shit.
Did you expect first person cutscenes meant specifically to pander to nerds, where you're seeing her from Cloud's perspective as she talks to you?
I thought that
yes, those were in trailers.
I did one. Yeah, you bet your ass that's for trailers. Two, that mostly hit me hard when I was in Seventh Heaven, and it's just like, Tifa's gonna lean over and make me a drink. That's good because I'm real thirsty.
She's posing, and the option is something hard.
Yep.
Also, I made a joke with some people on Twitter a while back, ZoroFab, who has done art for the channel, and a couple other people, where after Aerith died, you would meet Gaiath, the Atlas remake girl of this game. That's just how Aerith is written in this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We are at Manic Pixie Dream Girl rank like 18.
I don't know about that. I think Aerith's writing, I think every character's writing is fucking rock solid. Throwing it just for a second back to what Phil said earlier, of it's none of the new stuff invented that feels like the worst padding. It's the things that are there before that get expanded. The Don Corneo tournament stuff is actually a great opportunity to do some character development and introduce new characters in the lore. And I enjoyed, like, not only the walk up to the slums or the entrance to the slums that you don't actually take back to Sector 7, but I also enjoy Aerith as she, goes through the tournaments and stuff with you. Like, I think the character writing in this is better than the plot.
Yeah,
by the end of it, by a huge amount.
Even in the original 7, Aerith is pretty goofy. Like, what she becomes in, like, Advent Children and stuff, where she's just this weird... Oh, she's the quiet girl who knows
plot
everything.
Device?
Yeah, plot device.
Yeah, she's... yeah.
I enjoy that they actually felt like Aerith instead of like that.
Yeah,
now she's the quirky loud girl who knows everything.
I don't know what you're talking about. She's pretty on par with her Final Fantasy VII appearance, where she keeps calling you that kind, or her military guy and her bodyguard man and all these other things, where she keeps expanding your role.
I was a really big fan of the part where Cloud is like, yes, I will respect my friend Tifa's agency and competence. And Aerith's like, no, you fucking won't.
He's like, she told me not to save her. And then Aerith's like, and you believed her? He's like, yes, ma'am.
I like how you get to that segment and like, I think Tifa would have been okay. I don't know if we needed all this.
I think it's delightful because it's like, well, now we're all three candidates.
Right.
Like, it's really good. I really... The weird thing is, if you asked me before the trailer with the future ghosts and it came out, what I thought they would get right and what I thought they would get wrong in this game, I didn't expect the entire game to be spoken dialogue. That is insane. There's nothing that's just written in this entire video game, which is nuts.
There is a stupid amount of just the NPC dialogue where just a stream of stuff on the left side of the screen. One of my personal favorites being when you're in, I guess it was in the chapter for Jesse's house, and they're like, "Oh man, some people broke in here," and the Shinra operative is trying to get this old woman to go back into her house.
Yes.
And she's like, "It's Wu Tai, ain't it? I'ma get my gun."
Yeah, no, that was really good. And it's true to the original, because as you run around in Final Fantasy VII, text boxes come up seamlessly of people near you a lot of the time. Like, during various plot
Square's
moments.
been real good about this gen, because I think 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are both the same way, where there isn't any non-spoken dialogue.
Yeah, KH3 definitely got rid of the just the bubbles that would appear for normal text. They'd like swerve the camera around and make it a voiced line.
Yeah, it's less impressive in Kingdom Hearts 3 because the sheer amount of NPCs in this and dialogue in general is so much higher. It's ludicrous.
Like, it does feel like it's like a living, breathing world, because you see like when they're doing the evacuation of, you know, the slums in Sector 7, and you see like a stream of like maybe 100 NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly ugly NPCs, but NPCs nonetheless, getting out of there.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, some of them are real rough.
I expected at any moment one of these ugly motherfuckers to make the Sonic 06 sound as they wig out with their hands.
I'm sorry, my favorite one is, "Hey." which every soldier in Sonic 06 happens to have.
Yep.
Speaking of Sonic 06, I really enjoyed the completely unnecessary and hilarious scene after the Sector 7 plate falls, where you just see Kate Sith like looking over the destruction, and he pounds the ground.
Yeah, that's
Case it was played like a fiddle. I don't know what the problem is.
There was a reason for that, I swear. It makes sense. He just likes piloting his own mech around Midgar.
Reeve was bored, okay?
Reeve was apparently... he was pulling an all-nighter to get paperwork done, but he also is bored.
They made Reeve an enormous cuck in this game.
Look, he wanted to go see it for himself, and he couldn't leave the office because that looked suspicious.
And no security cameras.
There's a lot of things in this game that I think they put in out of an obligation. One of them was definitely that. I'd also say the Sephiroth fight is also that. Where it's like we have to do this.
I think
if they thought that, they have brain spiders. But they obviously have brain spiders. They wrote the whole ending.
I mean, yes, the less I talk about the story, the happier I am.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the earlier chapters. How you feel about Roche, the crazy man who was featured heavily in trailers only to show up once?
Yeah, that's what I'm disappointed by.
I thought he was going to show up again.
Yeah, you figure
Heidegger mentions him.
Plus, you figure he would have been a part of the final climactic moment on a fucking highway on a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah. You'd think that he'd come back.
I do like how you scan him, and his scan is, everybody fucking hates him at the company.
Yes, that was funny as hell.
He gets everybody surrounding him killed.
This motherfucker doesn't answer or doesn't follow orders and fucks shit up constantly. We hate him.
I think there's a lot of things like that in this game where it feels like there should be more to it. Like the apparently Barrett and
you mean Avalanche HQ?
Yeah, Avalanche is apparently a bigger thing, and that shows up twice in the whole game.
That's them like rehabilitating Beyond Crisis, where there was the original Avalanche that was like a super hardcore terrorist organization.
But the thing was, in this, it's literally the opposite. Where they think that this group is too extreme. Also, they clearly have some pretty good numbers because they send something like 20 soldiers into that one encounter.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's
nothing.
like, it feels like that's like almost immediately go, they call us crazy, but they're the ones running around here with fucking, military hardware.
They're like, they think we're too extreme because we bomb shit. Later in the same game, these motherfuckers are insane. They keep acting like there's still a war. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can't wait to hear more. We're going to introduce some Avalanche HQ people. We're going to figure out this power structure. I'm going to get to see some interesting dyads between Barrett and Avalanche HQ. No, we're okay.
I think you could have fit in between the wall market chunk. You could have put a Barrett chapter to show what's going on with that side, because you're separated from Barrett for a fairly long amount of game time.
Yeah, it felt like Barrett was hardly in this game halfway through. I was like, what happened to Barrett?
What happened?
Yeah,
And then you get his chapter, and it's going through the Umbrella Lab.
It's so dumb.
Actually, it's going through them repurposing aspects of Dirge of Cerberus.
There's a lot of
underground Shinra lab.
There's a lot of repurposing. Did you catch the reference to Genesis? Because I did.
What, when Hojo says we could use A or S or G or S type cells?
Yes.
Of course, I realized that. I was very excited.
Also,
to see representation.
The Zack flashbacks. He literally says lines from Crisis Core.
Yeah, that was a scene from Crisis Core.
Yeah, when one of the regular infantry guys recognizes Cloud, he's like, "I'll go get Kunsel," which is from Crisis Core. He is Zack's best friend in that game.
Oh, that's neat. I was really hoping we'd also get more on that, but no, just over.
Well, it's not time yet. Hojo tried to say, and then the time ghost swept him away.
That might be one of my favorite scenes in the whole game, where they're like, "No, you're spoiling it," and he's like, "What are these? What is this?"
God, those ghosts are so bad. They're literally like, Here I am, the writer of this video game. Let me ruin things.
As I keep saying, and this is gonna piss off literally every last human being listening to this podcast, because if you made it this far, I assume you've never even fucking played Metal Gear Solid 2, but this is the idiot version of Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's just
I
like...
don't agree with that.
I know you don't, but let me explain.
Your read on the ghosts are strange.
Let me explain. Metal Gear Solid 2 is a commentary...
No kisses in this.
Let me fucking explain. Metal Gear Solid 2 is a commentary on making a fucking sequel that reproduces what people liked in the original so much that it has to hew closely to audience expectations. Final Fantasy VII Remake is attempting a very similar thing, but does it in the absolutely dumbest way possible. If Metal Gear Solid 2 took place on Shadow Moses but involved Destiny ghosts, that would be my least favorite gaming franchise.
Well, that wouldn't really make sense there. You see, it makes sense here. We hang out with ghosts all the time. It was very funny to go from the train graveyard where you see the cool cartoony ghosts. The very next thing that happens is you have to fight the fucking Watchmen ghosts.
I don't understand why you have to fight them. That's real dumb. All those fights were dumb.
Every time they showed up was dumb.
Here's one.
You gotta put one in the first act, one in the second act, and then at the end of the game you have like the super version.
Chief is not wearing the right dress. The ghosts are gonna make her wear the right dress.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the ghost would hang out like a bitter incel outside her changing window and be like, "You're wearing the wrong dress. This isn't how it went originally."
Why did you pick the exotic option?
Don't call me out like this, KZ.
That was me.
Yeah, exotic gang.
I like that I have not seen what Aerith's other dresses are because they're tied to how many side quests you do in Chapter 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dress thing is dumb.
There's also an achievement for getting them all, so you literally have to fuck up to get that achievement.
So,
Bob.
So I have yet to see what her, I guess, poor people clothes look like.
Every one of the post-game content things is implemented in some way that is terrible.
And on that note,
yes.
that is precisely why I uninstalled this game the second I beat it. Because I looked at what was necessary to do anything past seeing the credits, and I was like, no, there are too many squeeze-throughs. I'm fucking sorry. I will talk to you in 8 months when there's several patches and a PlayStation 5 that will load me talking to human beings in this game faster than 10 fucking seconds.
When I saw you tweet deleting it, I'm like, all right, either he absolutely fucking hated this game, or he learned the dark truth of what may be the strangest new game plus I've ever seen.
I like it.
Yeah, that's it. That's really it. It's just that the structure of it doesn't really
It's bad.
It doesn't welcome you to easily get to the content you want to. Like, for example, they're talking about, we added some more combat rooms to the VR thing. And the way they pose this is go to chapter 17. And I'm like, chapter 17? Chadley isn't in that forever. And then Bob tells me, yeah, I booted chapter 17. They stick him at the beginning now. Like, after you beat the game, he's just at the beginning now.
Because thank God.
Yeah,
my God.
I was like,
yes,
Chapter 17 is the worst in the game.
And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this should be an option. You can just select to go do the combat.
I have
VR.
to imagine there's a combat room button they get in this game in the next 12 months.
And it's worth noting, at this point, a week after launch, there still isn't a patch. So this game's a little rough. I think it's obvious what could have affected this.
Weird oversight.
Right.
Like, obviously, there's some stuff going on right now globally that probably made polishing this game up in time for launch a little difficult.
All I know is that no one at Square is in their offices right now and are not allowed after something happened.
Yeah.
So no work can be done at all.
Yeah.
Because someone was found with something, and no one's allowed in there now.
Yep.
But I did a decent amount of the combat stuff because they give you the VR challenges to get summons from Chadley, and if you do all of his battle intels, they give you one more. They give you one more, like, super boss. Did anyone get to that at all?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
It's Bahamut. So you get him.
You know, because they had a final boss version of it where he's got, like, 4 different primary colors or whatever. So they have the actual real one, and you can fight and unlock it.
Yeah, and then there's also the super combat challenge, which you have to beat every mission in the Corneo tournament and in the Shinra one. The Corneo one's really bad because you have to play one of them as Aerith. You only get to play the Corneo Cup. Yeah, you have to play through all of that chapter again. Like the one with the tournament the first time to actually go fight that.
And you remember the chapter in which you do the Corneo stuff is the same chapter you take her through the dungeon with the arms.
Yeah, it's
so
the
you
worst.
gotta go back and do the arms again.
Yeah, by this point.
Yeah, that's because I feel like they're going to. It's patching in points to drop in seems like something that will happen eventually.
Final Fantasy 15 did this better, and that fucks me up because that game didn't give a shit. They're like, here's this dog. It can time travel and take you to the past.
KZ saying Final Fantasy 15 did this better about Final Fantasy VII Remake is like if I told my girlfriend Taco Bell did this better after she cooked dinner.
I know. I feel that. I feel it was hard not to think of the comparisons when Cloud has a solo boss fight against a rival character inside a military base, and I went, man, this is fun. This is fun and handled well. This is shocking me. But yeah, I feel like they should really
they've gotta be working
15
on
have
something.
that at launch though.
I'm sure it did. What?
Wow, I'm fucking surprised.
You hit like chapter 9 and whatever in that, like the point where they start railroading you, and the mystical woman appears, goes, "This dog can take you places."
Man, it was totally crazy when Barrett opens the door on that train and he's like, "Well, I gotta go to the DLC dimension now," and then he lets off the train. Could you imagine?
His Cloud falls off of the bridge. They felt sent to Aerith's house. Barrett yells at him, "Okay, I'm going to DLC. Bye, Cloud."
Bye, Cloud.
Oh God. I've gotten through most of the combat things. Like I beat Bahamut, which I thought was a decent enough boss, where his whole thing is just he's gonna nuke the screen in about 5 minutes. Stagger him or tank through it. Do one of the two. Overall, I enjoyed that, but there's the hard mode super boss, which I can't get to yet. There's a couple of matches that are a little hard.
Yeah.
One of the last ones you have to do before that is like fight a bomb. Okay, fight one of these fucking tonberries on hard mode, and boy is that difficult. And then and then the next one is like a behemoth.
I found the tomberries are actually super easy if you know what you're doing. You just have the counter mode for Cloud. He counters the instant kill, so you just keep doing that.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
I knew there was a materia which actually negates that or heavily mitigates it, the odds of dying to a one-hit kill, but holy fucking shit, Bob.
Yeah, no, it's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes they'll just go target Tifa or something, they're just dead.
Why didn't he counter Destiny?
I don't know.
I just that seems stupid in retro.
I like
he?
the fact
We won't
that
know till the next game.
if you assess a Tonberry, it says they bought them off the black market.
Yes.
I think that's really good.
That's fucking hilarious.
That was one of the side quests I liked, where it's like, oh, you're fucking in for it now, and then they stand all the way back dancing and send the Tonberry at you.
Yeah, no, that was one of the peak side missions in the game because they wrote such good dialogue for those two chuckle fucks while the Tonberry does its thing. They're like, yeah, get him with the kitchen knife, and I just lost it.
All Don Corneo's guys are real good. Like, the announcers in the tournament are fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh my
Koch and Scotch are
God.
great. I really like in the tournament when you run into the guys you just ran into on the way to the Sector 7 slums, where they're like, wait, you again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We got 18 guys with us now.
Beck's badasses
Yes, that was really
who
good.
have the best fucking track.
Yes, I agree with that. I actually do.
Yeah.
Did you guys scan them during their initial encounter?
Yes, I did, but I can't remember what it said.
It's where it says for all of them, their greatest talent is playing dead, which is what they do
Yep.
when you win.
Which is what they
That
do
is
when you
one of
win.
the funniest fucking
so
lines. When you beat them, you go through a squeeze through and you hear them scream, "That's it! Get the fuck out of here!"
Also, when halfway through the fight, the leader's like, "Wait, can we talk about this?"
There's actually 2 sets of side quests you can get for the Corneo section.
It's strange.
There is
I
one
believe
set
it
where you
depended
actually...
on what massage you chose.
Yeah, I think that's what determines it. Like, you have to choose the top one to get madams.
I did the expensive one, so I got hers.
Yeah, hers are definitely better because you get to fight those punks again.
Yes.
I did the most expensive one and got the guys.
Oh,
Then-
well, I didn't get the cool quest with Johnny where you go on the quest to get the sauce.
Yeah, I did that one. That one was really interesting because how high your materia was leveled changed the rewards.
Yeah, I did see that where like Cloud like holds the materia, throws it in the air a little bit. Like, would you like to use this cleansing materia?
There's when you have to hit the special buttons on the vending machine to get the sauce. And Cloud's like, I don't need your fucking advice. I have this, and holds up the assess materia, and it's based on how many enemies you assessed.
Huh.
And then he's like, then you have to give advice to the chef at the diner, and you can give him advice on the kitchen, the stove, some kind of electric thing, I forget what, or the freezer, based on your elemental materias.
Yeah, so when I got to the end and it's like, you need to go save these people and the pharmacist gives you the medicine, I'm like, my cleansing is level 0. I don't have
mine
one.
was too.
I can't help anyone but this one guy.
I really like Johnny.
Yeah, they expanded him a lot and made him really funny.
He's so bad.
He keeps calling Cloud bro.
Everybody calls
he's
Cloud
just-
bro.
He's just a Yakuza side quest character.
Was Johnny
A
in the
lot of
original
stuff-
game?
This game has a very aggressive Yakuza energy between its side quests and the feeling I got during some of the boss fights.
Yeah, I certainly hope they take more inspiration from them with side quests in the future games, because most of these are rough.
Yeah, they
go
felt
fight,
like
go fight a thing.
they felt
Good
like
job.
exactly what I expected. It felt like they saved some of the more interesting ones for the last chunk, where it's like, oh, you finally get to open up Corneo's stash, which I'm like, yeah, I want to get treasure. I want to get excited about that. Or here's just this sick behemoth.
God, the opening up the Tornado's treasure was dampened by some of the rewards from it being a Moogle medal, something they let you get infinite of early in the game.
Sometimes you get 2 in one box.
Which I had done, so I had all of them.
Yeah, so when it dumped 40 of them on me, I was like, oh, that's great. I didn't farm the infinite Moogle medals earlier. I'll just go and buy out every unique item now. Thank you.
It's real bad.
I really...
Quick poll. What's the worst enemy in this game? Because I have an answer.
I have one. God, there's
the writing
a couple
staff.
There's a couple that are just some motherfuckers. I would say that enemy that's in the drum, that late game area where it's like it's the whack-a-mole enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking pops into the holes and pops back out, shoots you, then leaves, pulls out a hammer, casts stop on you, and then hits you with the hammer like 5 times.
Yeah, every enemy that can cast stop or can lock your character down and not let you move, they're bad.
I'm not a fan of that one because a lot of most of your ATB moves aren't instant. So there are times where you've successfully dodged their attack and try to use an ATB move in your opening and is not fast enough to punish them. So it becomes more of a do normal attacks on it.
That's also why I hate how Blizzard works in this game. It might as well just not exist.
Yeah,
Arrow does
it's
the
insanely
same thing.
bad.
Any time it's just like its weakness is ice and it's a fucking beast that runs at 100 miles an hour. I'm like, game, do you know what you're doing? Do you understand that you did this? Sure,
they know.
I could stick an elemental attachment to Cloud's fucking Buster Sword or whatever, and it'll give me a little bit more damage. But come on, man, what are you doing? I think the funniest
my
thing
is
the funniest anachronism or proclivity in this game when it comes to combat is the enemy can smell your sentience. It will kill whoever you're controlling and ignore everyone else. That is the funniest shit in the world to me.
Yes.
If they attacked everybody the way they attack you, the game would be almost unplayable. They had to.
Yeah,
I think it would be
God.
funny as hell because they just start mauling Baron. I'm like, awesome! As I'm Cloud and do sick moves on them.
It definitely, the way they did this here made it so when Barrett's provoke materia would go off, I'm like, oh, this is nice.
This is what that would be.
Bahamut is fucking off for once. I can actually heal.
I would definitely say my least favorite enemy is the Tripopolis.
What?
Oh, that's the one that clones itself?
Oh,
the one that clones itself and takes almost no damage, and they say, here, fight 3. They can't really hurt you, but you have to mash square in front of them for 3 minutes.
Well, you're supposed to kill the clones, and then that makes it able to be hurt again. Until
they won't. But they don't dance. You have to hit them while they're dancing, and it's like, dance. Come on, dance. I am once again asking you to dance.
Yeah,
the fight you're specifically pointing out. Yeah, that chocobo that you saved that makes 3 of them pop out. I'm like, this is the worst fight in the game, and even now I'm like, yeah, that was the worst one.
I think that a lot of things in this game would be helped.
The stagger meter goes all the way down immediately
with a targeting system that wasn't made by idiots. It's like the worst one I've seen in years.
What's so bad about it? So that way you get a point across other than how upset you are.
Okay.
Bro, you have to explain when you're hyperbolic.
I don't think he's being hyperbolic. He's perfectly explaining how he feels. He's just not explaining why.
Okay. So the default mode for this video game, made in 2020.
Oh shit.
You lock onto the enemy. You move the right stick, which moves the camera and moves your lock onto a new enemy.
Bob, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that a combat system in late 2019 or early 2020 wherein doing combat arrests your ability to move the camera might be bad, a thing that I also criticized Astral Chain for?
Yes. I am saying that incredibly hard take.
Bob.
You radical.
Bob, I would like to thank you for tweeting about this on twitter.com so I could change it at about chapter 6 of my playthrough.
This is how much of a stubborn asshole I am.
Change it?
I didn't change
shut
it.
the
I saw Bob's fucking tweet, didn't change it. I'm like, no, I'm playing it how they intended.
It actually helped me
That would
because
have
then
helped a lot.
it forced me to use up and down on the D-pad to switch characters, which made more sense in the end because the character above you in the HUD is where it's going to go. So it actually made more sense to do that. So
it's weird because the HUD makes more sense around this way.
Yes. What if they just, at the last second, they just hit the wrong setting? Like, oops.
And then the weird thing, once you change it to this other message, the other message is, okay, you lock on the enemy and then left and right on D-pad switch targets.
Yeah.
Which sometimes it just won't switch and it's super upsetting. And also, the camera doesn't even attempt to follow the enemy you're locked onto. There's literally, it just sits there. So you have to be managing the right analog stick to move the camera constantly.
Bob, I have a counterpoint to this.
Okay.
This was the artist intent. I know this because the game as it is printed on the disc is perfect. Otherwise, wouldn't they have updated it? Like even once? Come on, man.
Clearly no reason going on that they wouldn't have updated it.
There's probably a
The
case
game-
to be made for this being a metaphor for something.
Oh no.
You know, when you think about it, this podcast is a metaphor. I don't know what. I'm just busy like looking at the backgrounds whenever we're high up in the air in Midgar and looking at that PNG and going, man, PS5 couldn't come here fast enough, could it?
Yeah, why? Why?
So the weirdest part is as weirdly defensive as I think people will get about any aspect of this game, it's worth noting that the skybox is worse than the pre-rendered backgrounds from the PS1 game because at least those were full resolution. Like, I'm on a PS4 vanilla and the rest of the game is like 5 times as high definition as these skyboxes that are enormous and have JPEG artifacts and banding everywhere.
Looked really good on the 4K OLED.
It's not even like they hopefully they won't look down there like with Sector 5 when you're up in the lights. Like you could say, well,
houses.
Barrett's
maybe
like,
they won't look down
please
there.
don't look.
But then you're climbing up onto the plate.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
literally
I might be
the only
crazy.
thing on screen is a ladder and the skybox.
Dan, am I insane or did you see seams?
Yeah, no, there seems.
I feel like I looked at the background and went, that's where they cut off and put the next chunk in.
Yeah, it's trying to do something it literally is impossible to do. Like the lots of small intricate details blown up that big.
Yeah.
There's no way
Why
like
couldn't they
with that much
just
movement it
put
makes
some
any sense.
Smoke. Put some smoke under it.
Thank you for
Anything.
mentioning it. Well, actually, it's funny that you say that. In that exact chapter, they put a bad fire effect at 3 different spots and a smoke trail coming off of one of them.
Yes, God, there's pictures of a burning building and it's still.
I missed that. I guess I got to go back and play that part.
I think that what made me upset about that even more was when I got to the absolute like very end of the game. You're on the highway. You look around. A lot of things are modeled. It's modeling stuff off into a decent distance, showing you Shinra or showing you Medgar.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't make an attempt to do that anywhere else.
That's the very end of the game. That's where they need to shoot as much money as possible.
I would like to note real quick, and I say this with no particular malice, which is why you haven't seen me owning anyone on Twitter over this. I see a lot of people saying this is pushing the PS4 the hardest. One, it has a completely stable 30 frames per second for a reason. 2, boot up RE3 Remake and listen to the sound your PS4 makes, then put in Final Fantasy VII. It is not pushing visuals nearly as hard as any of the RE Engine games currently are. And that's fine. I'm not saying it's terrible. Obviously, my much larger problems are with the texture loading problems. Not necessarily...
PS5, please. Like everything, every single thing in the fucking game if you sprint.
Even if you walk slowly.
fucking. Hey, Cloud, this is where you live now. Tifa is my door poster board.
Hey, you should
mean,
have
it's the
prepared for
slums,
this.
maybe.
You should have played Fire Emblem Three Houses, and this would have prepared you for what you have here.
That's true. I'm pretty sure Chadley's in that too.
God, he looks
It's
like he's
just
from some
real-
other game.
He's got a
It's
cool
just-
cyber monocle.
It's just real jarring when I can obviously see people pop in even as they made a really winding path to try and alleviate that exact thing.
Yeah. I mean, the number one thing for me, the number 1 and 2 thing for me is absolutely just some textures just never load. And you with that size, 85.8 gigs, I am convinced the textures on the disc and it just can't get it in.
They just compressed it.
Yeah, if only.
They compressed that, so they did what people asked.
They compressed it to like a GIF.
Yes.
I think it's that, and anytime you talk to someone and you have to wait 10 or 12 whole seconds while Chadley prepares his mental assault
I am
on you.
certain it is not 10 seconds.
No,
I have
actually
some
there
clips
were.
I should have put them on Twitter. I made some really choice clips.
Oh, no.
Me and Chadley had a standoff. It was like a fucking JoJo's moment.
I'm not saying the loads weren't bad on those. I had some 7 or 8 seconds, but I think 10's pretty nuts.
I think that it was literally a 20-second load for this lady who was looking for a cat.
What the fuck? What?
I would literally walk up to her, talk.
What did you do? Did you sprint while shaking the PS4 going...
See, it's really easy to get these textures load. All you have to do is grab the PS4. Just squeeze the textures out.
If you do that, you might find the feature in the game that makes it so that while I adore them, the cutscenes that play during boss fights or phase transitions, they find some way to make you skip those.
Okay,
Because
real quick, while we're talking
Yeah.
about that, has anyone played Hell House on hard mode?
I have
No.
not gotten to that yet. I'm on the Aerith side quest chapter.
I did that one. That one,
Oh, what's he do?
that thing has 2 cutscenes in the middle of it. At the end of that fight, when he's at 25% health and he's doing his flying around the room thing, it spawns the 2 Ripper mechs from the previous fight. With
What?
Yeah, and then the camera goes insane, and the house hits you while those 2 guys are running around. It's terrible.
Yeah, because you're so concerned with the Rippers, you forget, oh shit, I'm supposed to cast the spell while he's in the air so he falls down.
Oh, you can do that? I just fucking ran
Yeah.
away.
Oh yeah, because he flies around and then he specifically changes to an element, and if you hit that, it just falls, and I think it immediately goes into pressured.
Yeah.
And then he's I'm fire, so you have to use ice, and you're like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I died.
Yeah,
I died a few times on my first time through it because I just did not understand. Because at first I didn't have a sets on, and then I went, okay, I get this. I love the announcers having a 15-second long spiel on the game over screen.
Yeah, that gets really annoying in hard mode.
Oh, I didn't actually get to hear that. I literally didn't die to Hell House.
I died to him 3 times on normal.
Man. Yeah, I saw online that a lot of people were saying that Hell House is hard, and I'm like, I didn't realize I literally beat him on my first try. Because what happened is I started the fight, and my setup was good enough to not be in a risk of being killed at all. And I was doing constant damage, but I was like, this is going slow. I'm gonna just jump to the title screen, change some minor equipment, it'll go 4 times as fast. Then I jumped back in and killed him in like 5 or 6 minutes. So I thought this game was really easy. I don't know if that's normal. Like overall, if people thought that was easy, maybe I power leveled at the beginning on accident. I don't know.
What level were you when you finished?
Not that high. I think I was the exact same level as Bob. I would love to boot my game and tell you these things,
Yeah.
Things happen.
but I uninstalled it. But
I was 45.
Oh, I was fucking nowhere near that. What?
I was 35.
How the fuck were
Okay,
you
so here's what
45,
happened.
Theo?
I got the double experience materia from the Shinra virtual, and that applies to everybody. It's not just the character on.
Oh, I didn't.
And
know
I
that.
did it. I did it first, and then did the other challenges, which gave me like 3 levels, and then I just wore it the entire game.
Wait a second. Where did you get this double experience materia?
Remember when the guy who gives you the key card from the mayor is standing right outside the VR dome in Shinra HQ?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the challenge in there gives you the XP up materia, which is just doubles your experience gain.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I had that on for the end of the game, but I only think I ended at like 42 or something.
Yeah, I was not in the 40s. I was closer to KZ. KZ said like 35. I was either 35 or 33, which is why I was like, I'm 17 levels from the trophy for level capping at 50. Like, that's the most reasonable thing I can see in this trophy set and this endgame stuff. And even that's not close. The rest of this sounds like even more.
No, that would
nightmare.
take like
I'm
an hour.
Like, that's
it would take like an
basically
hour to go from 35 to 50.
Somebody
told me the 3-person challenge in that Shinra thing that gives you the XP up materia. That gives you 7,000 experience a go if you have the XP up materia on a character.
See, I didn't even fucking have the XP up materia, so I didn't even know that was a thing. So that's why I assessed that as taking way longer than apparently it takes.
And then for beating the game, you get an XP boost as well.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get like double experience and triple AP, and I was using that on top of there's a VR thing that's 2 people going against some normal enemies, flying enemies, and it starts with like a bunch of bugs. And I had AP up equipped and had Barrett start the fight with two ATB, do his focus shot. It kills all of them in 3 seconds, and then I restart over and over again.
God, does that like 3 AP each or something?
Doing that and restarting, I'm getting like 99 AP per run.
Ugh.
So, and it took me about 40 minutes to get a revival materia that takes 5,000 AP. Just took me 45 minutes to just max it out. So I just did that because I wanted to see what you get for getting all the things done, and then I saw.
I'm very interested in playing hard mode on the PS5.
Right, same. I will absolutely revisit this game in 8 months when no launch titles hit for the PS5 because of a global pandemic, and they've had time to patch this at all. Like I
also think the hard mode is really interesting. Like its restrictions are really neat.
I think the funniest thing is you can't use items in the hard mode. That means Roche doesn't heal you in the hard mode at the start of his fight.
Oh.
So I'm half dead going, oh no.
Yeah, I think that the no item use is a kind of dumb thing to put in an RPG. You could probably limit it or something, but just no items is silly.
I feel like you should have changed the chest if you're going to do that. And
yeah, because then you're just getting
do that.
The only thing left in chest now are items, which do nothing.
They're trophies. Yeah. They're trophies for how cool you are.
Oh man, I love big boy trophies. The boxes feel like they were specifically made for the hard mode because you'll slash them and you'll get a little bit of MP back. And every time that happened in the normal game, I'm like,
who cares?
Whatever. I'll
I have 700 ether.
Oh.
No, see, I fucking sat there fat and rich as shit like Citizen Kane, just being like, yes, excellent. I don't have to touch any of my 47 ethers.
So here's another thing that will
taught me to use raise, like the reviving materia.
Yeah,
like stuff like the Air Buster was actually a really thrilling fight on hard mode.
Here's something that absolutely they need to patch into this game. The ability to use items from the menu without having to watch Cloud go, okay, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna throw it up in the air.
Yeah, when I
sparkle.
When I was doing that in the game, I just kept telling Dan, like, this sees a lot of inspiration from a great game, Castlevania, Harmony. Wait, no, what was it? What's the first PS2 Castlevania?
Lament of Innocence.
Yes.
Look, what they realized is Igarashi is a fucking genius, and that he mastered in-game inventory management back in 2003. Or was it 4? I don't remember. I'm fucking...
It's something like that. Who knows?
That shit was 17 years ago. You think I fucking...
And
remember?
we're still doing it. Help!
We very early on, because you brought that up. You brought up that the inventory is the thing you have to do live in the game instead of through a menu, even outside of combat. We started making jokes referencing the fucking Ronaldo shit, and I can't even... like, he hands Cloud a fucking sword, and Cloud is like, Ronaldo, what is this? It's a buster sword. You can use it to strike down your foes. Lament of Innocence is a game.
Go into assault mode, and you can take their power.
You can unleash your power against your foe. I think the two modes for Cloud are really interesting. I never would have thought Cloud has a mode where he gets cement boots and ripped.
So here's how stupid I am.
And it's a parry if you press triangle at the right time, like as you're about to be attacked.
His block is just a parry now. Or not a parry, but a counter state.
Yes.
I didn't figure out until I was fighting Rufus.
They told you that when you at the very beginning of the game during the demo
I don't
level.
read tutorials ever. I have never read a tutorial in my entire life.
That is rude. Stop giving Feel shit. Feel, I didn't read that shit either.
I'm a big boy. I go, I'll figure things out, and then I get in trouble later.
There were so many
God,
things that this game needed more into tutorials, because I would tell Dan something and be like, you can do what?
Oh yeah, it went both ways, Bob.
It's true.
Because
It's true.
I told you how to multi-use items. Did you guys know about multi-using items?
What?
Yeah, you hold L1. It also counts for spells, and you don't have to go back into the menu. It just stays on the menu, and you can keep doing it.
Oh, God damn it.
I was like,
God damn it.
when I realized that about halfway through this game,
I'm
I
on
was
hard
like,
mode. There's no use for this.
No.
there is no
Die.
There is no God here. Die.
There are no items. Die.
When I realized this about halfway through the game, I was like, shit, man, I thought I was putting up with going in and getting kicked out of the menu as the opportunity cost of the savings by just using 47 potions instead of like 10 high potions.
I like to think Field did not know about the counter with Punisher mode till Rufus makes me go, so did you pick up the final weapon of the game and go, they gave this thing a parry. That's an interesting thing that they just added here. They have a little counter attack.
Also, I use the parry materia sometimes.
My experience was, sometimes when I block, I parry. That's cool. I was like, I keep countering like 75% of the time, and I'm not entirely sure why, but that's fine. I'm not going to get to the bottom of this because the combat in this is really easy.
I think like I feel like it's disappointing when Cloud's combat has that much depth to it and no one else does. Like Tifa, her hold down square button move is the same as her triangle move. I'm like, this is dumb. Why isn't this more complete?
Could you imagine if Tifa had like Devil May Cry 3 gauntlets?
Yeah, because when they announced her, that's what they kind of said. Like, oh yeah, hold down the attack button. She'll do this, the powered up version of the attack. Like, yeah, that makes sense for her. Oh well, always this uppercut, I guess.
Tifa has some interesting stuff once you get all her like abilities. Like, oh, I staggered you. I'm going to put down the stationary orb on top of you.
Yeah, no, she has abilities, but her basic combat is not there. Like, it's neat that
like it's not as deep as Cloud's.
Right.
Like you can.
They want her
that.
to aggressively use her ATB moves a lot more than Cloud's, because you have like the one that ups your chi level. You have two different punches that like up the stagger rate. So
right, so her whole thing is
she has the
bumping up
one
stagger.
that makes them take more damage when they're staggered, and that is unbelievably important.
Like I got the trophy that's like get 300%.
Yeah. No, I mean, all that's there. It just needed if she had more to her basic attacks. I felt like nobody had as much to their attacks as Cloud did.
But see, for Barrett, I can
Barrett
excuse that because he's the long range. So
yeah, he's Devil May Cry too.
Only sometimes, Dan. Sometimes you'll get the bowling ball with spikes on it, or the
claw, which is the best shit in the world for cutscenes because Barrett just looks like an absolute psychopath. Yeah, we'll handle it. And then it cuts to him with a giant metal claw, and the person he's talking to looks scared shitless.
Okay, I need to use the claw during the chapter where you fall through to the underground lab, because that one has him use his limit break. I want to see that claw make an energy ball.
When you do focus shot or any other stuff, it'll just come out of the claw.
Yeah, when I was using a bowling ball,
you can still do it.
And then Fury Max or Maximum Fury just shoots bullets, I lost it.
That is the funniest one of all of his moves because it just juggles enemies in the air.
It's really good. It's like, hey, Cloud, I'm gonna juggle this enemy with my Maximum Fury so you could use more than 2 of your fucking abilities. Because Cloud, when he uses abilities, goes completely cross-eyed and he goes, no matter where the enemy goes, I hit straight where I was looking before I went cross-eyed.
I have committed to what I am to do. You will use your blade beam thing and you will probably miss.
The enemy's like, what are you going to do? Swing where you saw me 2 seconds ago? And Cloud's like, yes.
Yes.
Maybe when they... Like in the future games, presumably there will be one-on-one fights between Tifa and somebody. She'll be fleshed out a little bit more. I feel like a lot of the depth to Cloud was just like, he has like 8 solo fights.
I mean, the next game's going to be really different because it's about all the timelines coming together. It's going to be more like Destiny.
That'd be funny, even if it would cut out my heart.
This is hilarious. He said bleeding out on the floor.
So I went through the final boss sequence, and I finally felt the need to want to skip through the boss's cutscene thing they do occasionally. When I died to the Whispers and went, this is a 15+ minute fight I have to do again.
Oh man,
yeah.
And you have to watch every. I think it's sick. I like moving around the large arena and it's doing different stuff. But man, it's like a set piece in a Naughty Dog game. If I lose once, it stops being cool.
One hilarious astral chain vibes near the end.
Yeah, strong astral chain energy.
And no enemy touched me and brought my health to 0, so I appreciate that it didn't go that way.
That's true. You appreciate having some reserve. You never go full astral chain.
I mean, Sephiroth had Sin Heartless Angel move, but thankfully it did not kill you.
Can you imagine if Sephiroth shows up and he summons 5 Tom Berries? I think that's what hard mode's going to be.
Oh my god! Oh
Jesus
man,
Christ.
I'm imagining what stupid bullshit they might have put in a hard mode Sephiroth fight. Aside from the obvious thing, he'll summon that meteor in the sky early, which has a countdown. So if you don't kill him fast enough, you just lose.
Yeah, he's gonna use Stopsa and summon 5 fucking Tonberries.
I did the hard mode of when the final thing for the Shinra VR training stuff that you unlock after doing everything else.
Yeah.
Is refighting the summons like Shiva, Fat Chocobo.
Yeah,
it's hard mode now.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Chocobo summons Tomberries.
Shut the fuck! Oh my god! Fat Chocobo in his normal fight summoned like fake ones that would die in like 2 hits, and it was like whatever, and like fake bombs. But ugh.
Oh, I didn't even notice he summoned them in the original fight. They still die fairly easily, but they can one-hit you.
Oh, that might have been the thing that they changed with it slightly. I was looking up, like, stuff about it, because I was like, whatever, it's the extra content, and I don't know how long it's going to take for me to beat it. And one of them, I don't know if they were fucking with it, they said when you fight Bahamut, Ifrit shows up. And I'm like, no, that better be wrong.
I hope that's wrong. I'm not there yet.
I hope that's wrong. And then I looked at, like, the last thing you fight, and I'm like, this is cool. It looks really hard, but it's cool. Like they made a unique super boss enemy. So
okay, that's neat.
I know what the super boss is. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm really fucking glad I didn't die during that last fight, because hearing you be like, when I died, and I'm like, oh god, I didn't even imagine.
Dan, when I died and it loaded, and I went, oh, We're outside near the portal again.
Yes. I'm gonna
That's
bring this up. If for some reason you're listening to our spoiler cast and you haven't beaten the game or haven't even bought it yet, why? Firstly,
Hi, Vox.
secondly, when you do play it, when you get a game over, never select restart from checkpoint ever. Never do that.
It is
Restart from battle will always put you outside the fight so you can fuck with your items and materia.
Yeah, I always chose that.
Restart from checkpoint sets you back to the last automatic game checkpoint, which are bad. I was getting worked by Rude the first time you fight him with Aerith, and I was like, okay, my materia isn't set for this. I don't have wind on anybody. He's weak to wind. I'll just restart from checkpoint, because I assumed restart from battle would just restart the fight.
right. Like
No,
a
it sends you back to the
person.
checkpoint, which was 90 minutes ago before I had done any of the side quests for that chapter. Now, luckily, I was saved. I was saved because I had manually saved
Yep.
before
Okay,
I went to
I
fight Rude.
understand why
I did
it's
this
doing
exact
that. And
thing. Yeah.
I understand why it's doing it. And it's terrible. They set up checkpoints based on main story content,
Yep.
and that main story was always there, so they don't count. Come on, man. Like, Kingdom Hearts is reasonable, because every time you leave or enter a room, it auto-saves. But this...
Well, KZ, they're not leaving or entering any different rooms.
they're-
You just
Yeah, I
squeeze
know.
through them.
Life is merely a series of squeeze through.
They should be auto-saving on every squeeze through. There are 800,000 auto-saves.
I think as Phil brought up his battle with Rude, I realized that the last time, like over the whole game, the latest point in the game, I actually had difficulty with combat or any enemy specifically was Reno in the church, because I didn't have a thing that would help me with him. So all that happened is I died once, changed my equipment, and then beat him.
I was like, did you know about countering yet then?
Bob, I just said I went through the whole game not understanding that certain modes countered. I was like, okay, if I block, I seem to counter sometimes. I'll keep doing that. And then
Yeah,
because of my strong preference towards, the heavy hitting mode, thus that. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
It's funny because
meanwhile,
as I'm
there's
sitting
me.
here and I'm like, I had no difficulty with this game. Did you understand countering? No.
Yeah, you were able to unga
That's
through
what
it by
kills
using
me.
the unga mode.
Yeah,
It worked.
I used the Unga mode, and I like, what was it? We were cross-referencing shit. I had the second highest level of heal before you had Cura. Like, I had second level elemental materia with everything really early on too. I don't know. Like, I just leveled shit really fast.
I think it's funny that you didn't have a hard time, did not know that there is a obvious, like, counterattack stance, like the counterattack thing. You didn't know how that worked. I had a rough time during plenty of parts that felt nice and challenging. I immediately knew about it because I'm like, oh, that's why Roche in his second phase is always doing a charge move that I can't do anything about. He wants me to parry that and counter.
Yeah, it worked pretty well, and I parried him.
I parried him a couple times accidentally. I was like, what makes this happen?
I was like, blocking's cool. The even funnier part, KZ, is when you build it out and realize the only reason I frequently wasn't in Unga mode is because I did a dodge roll. That's why.
Okay,
That's why the parts
Yeah.
where I didn't counter came off as an absurd fringe possibility.
The parry material you get super late in the game, you can actually do the parry and you're still in the counter stance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's neat. You don't have to get out of it to move.
Cloud's got the nail bats ability, which
I actually
does a
didn't
move.
I didn't level
It
that
does
up.
like a
Did you?
It does a swinging attack that then automatically changes whatever stance you're in.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I got every ability because they all feel important to the character's use in bosses. Except apparently to Dan.
The baseball
Who
bat.
fucking
I didn't level because I
ruins
used
your triangle move.
I used that move twice,
It
and I
does.
was like, I don't get
Yeah.
what the importance of this move is per se, because I don't Like, other characters don't have a challenge unloading their abilities like Cloud does. So if I'm going to use an ability to stagger an enemy, I'm not really going to use it as Cloud, you know? So like, somebody can explain it to me, I'm sure.
That was funny.
But I don't get the home run bat as Cloud. Like, I don't, what was the utility?
Oh, I didn't use the bat at all. I just got the moving like, you're going in the dumpster now. I got what I needed from you.
Feels like I caught them all and made a fire type team, you idiot.
I enjoyed it for the small time I used it, which was I used the baseball bat's charged up swing batter swing to slam it into Root and made him fly through the air for a moment.
Yes, that is hilarious.
That part was very good. That has one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire game, which is you shatter his sunglasses only for him to pull out another pair.
Yeah, that cutscene really is great. He goes, "Have you had enough?" "No, I don't think I have." And then he does the power wave.
And then he just starts turning into the final boss of Metal Gear Rising.
He has all of Terry Bogard's moves. They did that on purpose. He has the fucking crack shot.
To be fair to my comment on Feel a second ago, it's more like Feel caught them all and said, "Of course I'm still not going to use grass type. What am I, stupid?"
Yeah, that's called being correct.
Yes.
I fucking knew it. Overall, that's one of the things I like, despite the fact that I wish you could skip them. I really like the phase transitions, like the fact that they have their own scenes and the music will then change to a new section. The entire game, the part of why I did not like the drum as much, that big science Hojo area, was I was just like, please, I need to find out how cool Rufus's boss fight's gonna be. And then you finally reach him where he activates his gun coin laser beams.
Yes.
Which might be the coolest thing until he revealed he uses a shotgun to super dash.
Yes, that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. Him using rocket boosts essentially with the sawed-off shotgun. Like, it's incredible.
Assess him, and it says something like, "There's one move that's really good against him if you can figure it out. If you use Braver when he reloads, it staggers him automatically."
Oh yeah, I did that once accidentally.
Yeah, it's that one move just immediately opens him up.
I think that's really funny because I think that's a reference.
Regardless of his percentage.
It's a reference to how in the original they had, I think Cloud's limit increases like 3 times as fast in that fight.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
That
actually
chunk of the game might be my favorite in the whole game because that's immediately after the Genova fight. And
that's a good fight too.
Both.
I feel like the tail end of the Shinra building is really complicated for me on how I feel about it, because not only is there the Hojo barrel, as Casey referred to it, which is really...
Oh no, it's called the drum. That's what the area is called.
Okay. I just kept calling it Hojo's experiment labyrinth. I
got some major Final Fantasy XV Chapter 13 vibes of lab that's incredibly long, but at least I fight normally here.
For me, the complication for how I feel about that is, the hour and 40 minutes of fighting enemies really breaks the pacing of the plot at that point, because Sephiroth walks up to get Genova. You spend an hour and 40 minutes quotation marks, puzzle solving and doing a bunch of battles. And then by the end of it, he's walking out with Genova, and I'm like, man, this is completely different. That motherfucker just ripped her out in the original game. This time, he took his time. I feel like it really broke the pacing there. The Rufus thing is incredible. I think the Sephiroth being a whisper, what is the term for the purple whisper? Does anyone remember off the top of their head? Because there's the purple whisper you fight early on in the Sector 7 slums.
I think it's something that starts
the enigmatic specter.
Thank you. The enigmatic specter.
But it's not. That's not what Sephiroth is.
That literally is what he is. Yeah. At that exact point in the office.
I thought he was the dudes.
Yeah,
He was
I
like-
thought
he's like
I
your
thought that's
neighbor.
just
He's
that, yeah,
both.
that's the neighbor.
He's both in that
Mm.
one scene.
I don't think so. I think it's just a reference to how in the original Sephiroth was always Genova.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally all four. I'll go pull up a cutscene to check myself. Maybe I saw it wrong, but
Yeah,
I'll do that
and
because
the way they show Sephiroth toward the end, especially, and scenes like that, looks like he is in opposition of those ghosts because he like swats them away a lot and slices through them.
oh yeah, he just does a cool flick of the wrist with his sword, and then they all fuck off because he's above destiny. Fuck y'all.
Because instead he's Marco, who's your neighbor.
Yeah.
And the other guy, who I did not expect them to pay off those characters as in they would show up later.
At the same time,
Like,
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, they're just.
I didn't
close there.
expect them. I just expected them to be like, yeah, these are the guys that go to the crater at the end. You know?
The Sephiroth clones.
I like how Hojo's like, I injected this guy with Sephiroth's blood. He's a clone now. I know how science works.
Yeah, Hojo's really on top of things,
They
because
make
he goes,
him so ugly. It's incredible.
I need research. Could you spend an hour and 40 minutes killing things I made?
I'm gonna pump some Bacta into these rooms. That doesn't actually mean anything. Fight these robots.
Now, see, the drum was important because it's where they put every single enemy that seems too weird to be a normal
Yeah.
enemy, but they still have to include them in the game. So here's 5 mini bosses.
I did appreciate some of them, except for the whack-a-mole ones. And part of that area is redeemed for me for the animation Red 13 does when he tries to pull a lever.
I was cool with that
It looks-
animation once. I didn't need to see it 10 times.
You did it?
No, it killed me every time. Like, look at him. He's working so hard right now.
I liked where Red 13 is a growling dog, and then Aerith talks to him, and he turns into like a furry visually, like his face almost entirely changes shape
Yeah,
to like a more cartoon face.
Aerith reached out to him and touched his brain and made him into a furry. Yeah, that's it. It was at a very emotional moment.
Hey, did you notice how Aerith called him child, even though she has no way of knowing it at that moment?
There's a lot
She
of
can
things
spend
Aerith
minor.
does where she implies she knows the entire timeline of the original Final Fantasy VII. There are a lot of things with that. By the way, I would like to know, I have reviewed this cutscene. It's true, he does not turn into a purple ghost. It's just that the Genova fragment is a purple spooky monster before becoming a giant tentacle
'cause
monster.
the Genova blood was purple.
Yes.
Like when it's like purple goo that you there's a lot of weird shit
But-
here. Again,
but
as
what
I
I was-
said, you go from ghost to ghost in one chapter.
What I was going to say, though, is that when you look at the end of the Shinra building, you get the Hojo battle chamber, you get the Sephiroth stuff with killing Baron and then bringing him back. You get the really cool thing that is Rufus, and then immediately after you get Wedge basically being killed as it fades to black with no real build-up.
Yeah, he died the exact same way he dies in the original game because the ghosts had to make sure it was the same method of death.
They had to Yeetus that diabetes out a window.
How? That's
God, Wedge sucks.
No,
we
Wedge
need
is a
to
good
Wedge.
boy.
He is
No,
great.
they
I
had to
fucking
include the
lost
scene.
it.
They had to include the scene where he gets the dogs to attack him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm full of chocolate," and include the scene of him getting bit in the ass and going, "Oh, my ass," and jumping real high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
and
that was
then they
good.
Pulled down his pants.
And then Jesse smacked him on
Jesse
the ass.
smacked his ass.
Yeah.
That was great. They give Jesse's backstory, and they're like, Claude, don't tell her. You know this. He's like, maybe I will. No, she'll beat the shit out of us.
That was good. I really liked that.
Wedge is delightful. He's a billion times better than Johnny.
yeah.
Yeah. I did
agree.
enjoy Wedge a bit, and I liked the way that they, when talking about Jesse, saying, hey, don't try to come on to her or anything. She's just looking for a cheap thrill. This happens all the time.
That was very
Eh,
funny.
Just the idea is like, yeah, she's really coming on to Cloud, but as soon as someone cool shows up, she'd probably jump onto the next thing.
So Jesse got a lot of cool stuff. Wedge got a lot of funny bits and more screen time. Biggs got, as he lays dying, let me tell you how I relate to the new content.
But he's also alive at the end of the game. So
You also learn it earlier anyway. If you talk to the woman in the side quest in the orphanage.
it's true.
There's early
she's
stuff like that.
I did every side mission.
I know, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, where she has like one of the longest monologues of any side quest where she talks about doing what she can for the kids and trying to do what the previous person did and straight up says Biggs. And then you find that she works at the Honeybee Inn to make more money for the kids.
No, it sounded like she was doing that to pursue her dream of dancing.
Ah, okay. The way that she's hiding in an alleyway, almost made me think it was like, oh, I guess the kids were right when they said that the place wasn't making enough money.
I mean, it's both, I guess.
I think I think it's delightful how Biggs is like, go and tell the children, and Cloud's like, fuck you, do it yourself.
No.
And then he did.
Cannot stand children.
Then he's like, how can you not stand children? You are a child. And then he died. And I was like, whoa.
Meanwhile, Cloud's like, you don't understand. The kids have a sanctuary that's guarded by a squeeze-through. One of them wears a Moogle
I'm not going in
costume.
there again.
You can't make me.
Unless you give me enough Moogle coins and that Moogle might have more stuff, then I might consider it.
I gotta get this book that has a sword on it.
There's a really good chance that people listening to this are going to be upset if we don't talk about the Zack scenes at the end with the stamp logo on the bag or whatever, and what that means for a sequel. I have no interest, but if you guys do, feel free.
The Zack stuff seems really strange to me because, one, there's no way to parse what the fuck it's actually going to mean.
It's
What it means,
like-
yeah.
It's
Like,
intentionally.
he survived, but
Amazing.
that would like change the past, but it's got to be an alternate thing because the stamp bag of chips that passed by is a different breed of dog, so this is the universe that had a different mascot dog.
See, that wasn't my read. My read was they killed Destiny, so the past my read it was just like a previous, because it's like 3 years in the past. Or wait, no, it isn't. God, that might be right. Fuck.
Yeah, because it's like, why would they hang on that shot of that dog
Mm-hmm.
for a good reason? And it's not like, oh, maybe there's multiple dogs. They show the same dog constantly in the game.
They
The
do.
graffiti and the art. That was a specific like.
I'm
thing.
really curious what the lyrics of the Stamp song are, because I can't fucking make a single word out in game.
I'm pretty sure it said watermelon cantaloupe, watermelon cantaloupe.
I can't believe that the amount of original songs they just did for things in the world, like the Honeybee Inn having its own song, Stamp having its own song, the lobby of the Shinra building having some like slow dance song.
They had a lot of OC remixes, yeah.
They need to put Square Enix, you better fucking put a karaoke minigame in the sequels. Yakuza gives every playable character a vocal song in every game. You better step up.
I wouldn't put it past them after that dance minigame. I did not see that.
That
shit.
dance minigame was fantastic. If you're only going to have a dancing thing once, go ahead and have completely unreadable prompts. That's fine. As long as I only have to do it once.
You know what?
But
You're right.
feel, there's a trophy locked behind it.
I'm pretty sure I got that trophy on my first shot.
Same
did
here. They
It
have a
looked
very
really
low bar.
cool.
For that.
It really looked cool. That's
beautiful.
all that mattered. And then I made the good tweet about how they tell Cloud to dance and he starts doing reloading animations on stage.
I think it's absolutely fucking delightful. They handled so many parts of Wall Market so well. Not just from a navigating like what the original would be in the modern environment, but just like making really great characters and great dialogue scenes between characters and really great moments in that dialogue. Like that was maybe the high point of the plot to me, just because as you continue past that, ghost shenanigans continue and pacing problems get worse.
Yeah, I think Wall Mark is probably my favorite part too, except for the part where Johnny starts falling around and ruining every moment.
Whenever he was around, I'm like, hey, what's up? It's fucking Johnny. Let's go.
I don't like Johnny, but I love his dad.
Yes,
like,
Johnny's dad is fine.
It's going to be great, Cloud. You're going to be the best friends. You're going to go on so many adventures. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen, Cloud. They turned him into a goddamn pickle. I lost it.
I think my favorite part was the beginning of the Shinra building up until the Hojo labyrinth, because you get like President Shinra jerking himself off, and you get to see his gold gun that he uses in a later cutscene. You get the Ancients PBS documentary, which in no dimension did I expect anything like that. That was incredible.
And then Sephiroth hacks the fucking video.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, I thought the ending of it was dumb, but the concept of it is really neat. I'm still a little confused why Shinra wants people to know about planetology and believe in that if their core business is raping the Earth, literally. So,
well, their propaganda says it's infinite. Like, it literally says it in that presentation. The infinite resource of Mako energy.
That's true, but
show
like
Neo Midgar.
Generally,
it looks real cool.
If you have a thing that is counter to your institution, in this case they call it planetology, you don't really steer people towards that with any part of your material.
Maybe real planetology.
I think that they were trying to sell people on the ancients used the materia too, so we're just like them. That's what angle it felt like they were coming from.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Phil?
It's just like real planetology. There's real planetology that they have in Cosmo Canyon, and then the planetology that Shinra pays the Shinra Planetology Institute to release and cover on all their news networks.
I love this tired expression Red 13 has, which I feel is pretty faithful. I just imagine at some point he's like, I knew I should have eaten those humans' faces.
He's just brooding because he's 16.
He's part of the reason why I think they just added that last area, because they're like, let him be around a little bit more.
Yes, otherwise he's in there for like one fight.
Which is funny
the
because
two cutscenes that are not involving the drum that he's in are perfect, in which he high fives Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does the smile bit.
I think that the drum could have existed. It needed to be a quarter of the length.
Yes. I wouldn't say a quarter. I'd say like half. Like, there didn't need to be 4 chambers of the... All right, now you call that group, you call that group.
I think half would have been good. I'm okay with a 40-minute diversion. When it's an hour and 40, that's when it gets kind of like...
The calling also pissed me off, because it'd be like, okay, we better call Tifa and Aerith and tell them the door open. I'm like, I think they have fucking eyes, bro.
Yeah, it's like, I think they have fucking eyes.
Where it's like, they're standing next to the door.
Exactly. I think they have fucking eyes, and I think we're in the same room. I'm pretty sure I could shout. I have testicles. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to raise my voice one moment.
Just get Barrett to do it. Come on.
The system that you use to call them is called PHS, which is what you use to switch your party members in the original game. It was implied to be a cell phone there.
And the benches have the save icon, as Bob pointed out to me, and I went, I didn't really notice.
The benches are hilarious.
Bob,
so bad.
Hold on, President Shin. Hold on, President Shinra. I know you're hanging onto the building there, but I'm gonna sit on this bench. I'm gonna buy some items, and then I'm gonna shuffle on over to you.
Fucking Cloud is looking at the top of the Shinra building, and he's just like, oh, that's Sephiroth up there, but I really wanted to take a nice sit and eat this bag of Gardettos.
In brilliant move, completely brilliant, to just be like, just write potion in the Coke font.
Yeah.
I still think they should have had the potion fountain machine instead of the benches.
So instead of
and
sitting
like
on
I
a
told
bench,
you, that's just Prince of Persia with the little water fountains that you would walk up to.
but this one is a soda fountain.
Yes, and you have to shove your head under it, and it's hilarious.
I mean,
That's why you can't take
the fancy vending machines are those shitty touchscreen fountain machines. I also like how the ones in the slums are retro.
That's true. They look suitably beaten down.
When will Square Enix make a version you can buy that costs $8,000 and they make 3? Like the Final Fantasy 15 car.
A version,
they made
version of the vending machine. Okay, I was like, a version of this game?
Oh,
I was like trying to figure that out.
What is this about?
I mean a version of the, like, you can buy the potion vending machine. We made 10 and they're $8,000 each.
No, that's too cool. They sell you the bench.
The iconic Final Fantasy VII Remake bench.
I kind of want it.
It's just a little. Is it DX Racer?
What if there were DX racers next to fucking vending? Barrett spins in it.
Oh man, Cloud, like the animation.
This chair's worth $400.
The animation is just as
Worth
grounded
every
as it
last
is
gig.
now. Cloud slowly sits down and just fully reclines like PewDiePie in the fucking chair.
Was anybody else confused about how the fucking plate collapsing works?
It's really bad, yeah.
Why was there why could you go back to Sector 7? How did an entire city fall on it, but it was still not fallen on?
Yeah,
it was really bad.
that was real dumb.
It kind of missed.
It missed going straight down, and then you go on top and you see it crushed everything, and it's like, nah.
We
dude.
dropped a city on another city and missed.
you start typing on the computer over there, fuck shit up, and then it makes the plate above it start blowing up in different places, and then parts of it start to fall.
Yeah, I like how it's like, do you want to disengage the plate? Disengage seemingly meaning explode.
Activate the C4s you set up for some.
I wasn't a fan of that. And when you think about what happened there, it doesn't seem like it was even essential because you go and do the tunnel stuff from the Sector 6 slums, the area next to Wall Market.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you didn't
the playground thing.
You didn't need to do that from the Sector 7 slums. I feel like that whole thing could have been cut, and as long as you rewrote, getting Wedge and other stuff into other areas, I feel like that would have gone fine.
I think they just wanted that scene where they look at they look at Seventh Heaven and get really sad.
Yeah, they did.
Which was dumb.
Maybe
That's not okay.
Maybe they should consider the costs of getting scenes like that.
Maybe not every scene is worth doing.
Then it's like you get to show the hub area that's all destroyed and stuff, and that.
You know what's better than showing it destroyed? Being like, it's gone because 800 trillion tons of steel fell on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That
prefer
just
the
doesn't
scene
seem real to me.
in 7 where it's just like, yeah, there's just a giant pile of stuff that Barrett's getting angry at and shooting. Like, that's a lot more. Yep, it's all gone.
Well, if it was Final Fantasy VII Remake, you would just hold the square button and he would be able to break through that in a fun little dungeon minigame.
I like
God, that was insane.
And then Cloud goes, "Of course I found you. You shot everything, including fans?"
I didn't know that. I thought that the crates up on the shelves were just for decoration, but apparently you can destroy them and get things from them.
I saw someone spend 6 minutes getting rid of every...
I didn't notice either.
Me! I got rid of every box in that warehouse, which made that joke land 110%. It was the funniest. They're like, you can shoot
I
shit.
got 8 potions.
I just was like, oh, this is where the crates came from. That's funny. I'll keep walking.
I'm like, those are the boxes I've been destroying the whole game. What am I gonna do now? Not shoot them all?
Idiot.
Which is why when Cloud is like, yeah, I followed the trail of fucking bullets, you jackass. I'm like, you're damn right you did. Which reminds me, since you guys didn't blow up every fucking box, there is a absurdly high propensity for those boxes to break in the exact way where one of the walls, because, you know, the cubes, they bust up. Each side falls apart and maybe gets cut diagonally. It's really cool. But when you're shooting them, they just fall apart as the, 6 walls of a cube.
Right.
There's a huge propensity for a wall of the cube to perfectly land flat on the ground. So you'll just have a line of sides of boxes perfectly standing on the ground when you're done.
Looks great, I'm sure.
It's funny as hell.
PS5 will fix it.
I'm
What? No. You know what? Sure. We're going to add that to the list.
Well, Dan has to reload that chapter on the PS5 to check.
That shit's midway through the chapter. That's at least 55 squeeze-throughs to go check out.
That's true.
Which I'm convinced not all of those are loading, and they just put a million of them in there just to be like, that's just how the game is.
Okay, so here's why I don't believe that at all. Every time I run all the way nonstop to any squeeze through in the game, and then run from that to anything, everyone takes way longer to say anything, and the textures are barely there.
This game had to do some shit.
It seems so weird to me because I'm like, I've never played a game with this many before.
Have you ever played a game that was 85.8 gigabytes?
And released the last 6 months of a console's lifespan.
That's true. This is the last gen. This is the end of a generation experience where you just go, oh man.
It's been a while. Also, last gen was bad.
Considering how much shit is getting delayed, this might be the last AAA game released on PS4 only.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I kind of wanted to go back and see if they had more like specific special interactions on bosses, because they gave Rufus a few where like if you try to attack him immediately when his fight starts, he parries you with his shotgun, spins around you, and they reset. Or if you are in Punisher stance and you guard the dog's corkscrew, Cloud holds the spinning dog back, launches it, and cuts the like energy link between both bosses.
That's pretty cool.
Which I had no idea what that did, but it looked like a really sick move. I guess they end up not being able to combo as often.
Right.
This game has an enormous amount of unique interactions, and I kind of wish the game was a little stricter to force you to find them.
Also, that was the point where I'm like, man, the music just really goes all out in this, where some songs are like 12 minutes long.
Also, if you don't cut that link, you just can't stagger the dog, and you get owned by them repeatedly like I did, until I'm like, fuck it, my limit break's full, die.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes I would hit the limit break and go, all right, just push the phase.
Was it, I think Bob groused because the moment I got to the last phase with Rufus and the dog wasn't there anymore, I limit braked him immediately and didn't have to deal with any of it.
Oh, didn't have to deal with the wonderful mechanic of he will dash around a lot, shoot you, and then reload.
He counters literally every physical attack.
That's not true. He doesn't counter your limit break.
He doesn't counter a limit break. God.
He doesn't counter your limit break. If you cast magic, he kind of shakes a little bit, so you can actually get a combo. You can also combo when he's reloading, which is where you would like braver him.
Yeah, it's...
That said, any other time, just fucking block.
Hey, you know what's a mistake in this game?
What?
Having somebody you aren't controlling use their limit break.
Can they do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yes, you can order them to do it. It does not go into the cinematic because you aren't controlling them, and it means it will usually miss.
Yes, that's how that went for me. I thought you were trying to say that they made the decision.
But it has confused me a little bit.
It really upsets me that they can die during a limit break. It's really bad.
That actually infuriated me. I was like, fuck you, man. I got a limit break. Cloud does a really cool dash, gets bopped on the nose and falls over dead. And I was like,
I never had that problem.
Nothing personal. And then he passed out.
Yeah, no, it's
really bad. And then Aerith, her healing one that heals her at the end of it, she will die during. It'll still heal Cloud. She's dead.
Yeah.
And then it just plays a really dramatic dun 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 dun.
I wish that revived you, because I was like, come on, I need a win. Let that revive too.
I just kept using the second one because it made physical attacks not hurt, which was great until a moment a tentacle hits you and it goes, I think it's magic because you just got hurt. Fuck you.
I had Cloud have a maxed out barrier on Magnify, so everybody was
that's good.
Shield. Everybody was both shielded. And I'm like, you idiot! I'm covered in magic. Try and hurt me.
That's pretty good. I definitely did not do that. That's a pretty interesting strategy.
I was becoming a bit lukewarm on the Genova fight at first, because despite it being cool, I was like, they're just doing a orchestral thing for it. And then you hit the last phase and they said, fuck you, here's the actual song you wanted. And I went, oh, this is tight. Like, overall, I just really enjoyed all the music in this.
The music in this game is really good.
There are multiple moments where I was like, man, they're doing something. Like the collapsed expressway themes that played. You can tell the Final Fantasy XIII composer was the one that did this.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that made me think it was Final Fantasy XIII music.
Yeah, like,
both good and
whenever
bad.
they're not trying to arrange an FF7 thing, it's like, yeah, this is just something that would have been one of those games. Like the Watchmen of Fate theme just sounds like you're fighting the Pope from 13.
I personally didn't think, like, and I'm not saying this to spray haterade or anything fucking like that. I didn't really love the soundtrack. There are some songs I really enjoyed, but overall, I would say about 80% of the soundtrack just sort of was fine. I don't think it was bad music. I think it was suitable, but it's kind of like, I don't know, to some extent, because as you were just saying, like, a lot of these are remixes. I feel like some of them have really interesting ideas for what to do with the songs, and other ones are less inventive and are less remarkable in that sense. But I do like some of the music in this.
The further they go from orchestra, the better the remixes.
I kind of feel that way. Yeah,
like
a little
that
bit.
Zone with all the bandits.
Yes, that's my favorite.
That one goofy track, and it just, when that beat drops, it's just going in. Or like how Rufus's theme is just the boss theme mixed with Shinra's theme.
Yes.
Like the Genova song we were talking about, like, I can't even remember a part I liked about it, just because of, like, the beginning is just all orchestral. I can't even remember it going to the more hardcore mode because it was buried in a pile of kind of bad.
Yeah, it's like once you hit the last phase, it sounds like a Genova theme, and it goes in pretty hard.
Yeah, the last phase
I've been liking it a lot.
I like the last phase of it. The rest of it I could kind of pass on. I do think the Rufus theme and the Bandit theme you just referenced, I think those are my two favorite themes in the game. And that's not to say I'm some asshole who's just like, why are they doing these remixes that I collect and play on the radio and then NPCs dance and clap to it? Like, no, that's pretty joyous, when you go and get those songs.
I enjoyed they
That's
made
funny.
art for all of those.
Also, I very much had the same impression as Dairaketto on Twitter of it's fucking hilarious that some dude's handing you his demo reel, his demo tape, and he's like, please check out my sick Chocobo remix. Like, that's funny as hell.
My favorite music acquisition is there's one you need for the side quest where the girl's like, let's cheer people up with music.
Yes.
And one of them you get from this lady standing in the back of an alley that is way back in the way, and she is high as shit and listening to the same record over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. We've all been there. What was everybody's favorite non-solo boss?
Real quick, since we're on the soundtrack, I want to say, because I already expressed my vague impressions. There's an earlier theme, and I really wish I could say which one to the audience, and I'm sorry that I don't know the exact theme, but that song just went sicko mode on the triangle, and I really couldn't fucking deal with that on my headphones.
I have no idea what this song could be, but going sicko mode on the triangle.
I'm going to need to listen to the whole soundtrack now to try to find it.
60% of the song is just them hitting a triangle.
Where did it play? Anywhere?
It's actually over a huge amount of the game early on. So it's got to be a combat theme at that point. I can't remember. That was 30 hours ago,
I'm just thinking about like the normal battle theme where it sounds like they're slamming metal during it. But that's just the normal battle theme.
Kind of, it may be that one, but so I'm listening to this on some really high-end headphones that have really good representation of treble.
God damn it.
And so since it has really accurate representation of treble, it sounds like some motherfucker's holding a triangle up to my ear and just slamming it. I think that was the moment where I'm like, maybe I won't love the soundtrack by the end, but it got better from there. The funny thing is I like that theme outside of the triangle. But anyway, Phil, you wanted to talk about solo encounters or bosses. What was it?
What was our favorite non-solo boss?
It's hard because I don't really have a boss where going back to it, I'm particularly dreading. Where everything was kind of like, oh, this was hard until I assessed it, and then I kind of understood what they wanted from me.
I was kind of meh on all the bosses, honestly. Like, nothing really stood out as, like, especially good or bad.
I don't hate Hell House. I think Hell House is fine. I like Rufus. I don't love Rufus, but I like Rufus. I like the Hojo monster you fight before you go to his labyrinth.
Yeah, who spits out the eyeball once.
Yes.
The villain from Ben 10.
I think the only ones I distinctly didn't love, plot-wise, all the ending bosses. But aside from that, ignoring that.
Some of my favorites.
Ignoring that, I don't really love the boss that was in the demo.
Yeah, revisiting
Star
the
Scorpion
mode was really just underscored how bad that fight is.
I just didn't find it nearly as compelling as most every other fight in the game. Like Roche is fun. Yeah, I think that's
how do you
one
feel
of the
about
less
Guard
fun fights.
Crab?
Crab
big-
Warden that you fight in Subway.
The big brother of Guard.
Thank you for reminding me of Crab Warden, because the whole time I'm fighting him, I'm imagining him talking about
Gay-lo.
Triple.
PS Triple.
Yes, so many people are just like, yo, Chad Warden's in this game.
Yo, that steel rod, that looks like a dildo.
I really liked the crazy mech that Barrett and Aerith and Red 13 fight, because I think it dropping all the cover everywhere made it very interesting, and I was having a lot of fun.
It does like a DPS check at the end where it's just like, fuck you, firewalls.
Burn me down.
I don't think I was ready to enjoy anything after they just vanished
Wedge
into the ghost dimension for no reason. So
Bob, the
I
ghost
wasn't in a good
dimension
space.
doesn't make a glass shattering sound. They vanished him out a fucking window.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they killed him. He's dead. Probably.
He's super fucking dead. He was dropped from, like, I don't know, the 50th or 60th floor?
63rd floor.
Yeah. That's rough, man.
Look,
Hey, he could
Somehow-
not luck out like
somehow
Biggs and
Biggs-
survive.
was crushed under 300 feet of steel.
Once again, Bob,
You
missed.
didn't see it happen.
We talked about it. The plate didn't hit the Sector 7
Did
slope.
you notice the dumbest detail when they show that Biggs is alive, that there's a glove on the table, and that's Jesse's glove?
Is it Jesse's glove? What?
People pointed out that it had a piece of metal on the front of it, and that Biggs doesn't have that, but hers do.
So
either he picked it up, or they're trying to imply that, or it's nothing.
So explaining something to the people listening, I'm sure it's something that everyone on this podcast has an understanding of. When people who have played this game or have watched the ending complain about, quote, Nomura shit, they're referring to these scenes with Zack with the conflicting info, Biggs being alive, and Sephiroth battling you in the no collateral dimension. Now, to be fair, as I said on Twitter, there's no need to pin it on Nomura. You can pin it on everyone involved. There are many Square Enix people working on this game.
Yeah, all of them also worked on the original.
Well,
Yes.
there's a notable person missing, but that's not important. What's important here is I'm trying to spread the message of fuck them all. Stop saying fuck Nomura, fuck all of them.
I
I'm
don't
saying
know why
thank
they
them.
They made a. They made
You
a
can go ahead.
wonderful-
I'm
wonderful.
saying something else to the audience, but you can say thank them.
Well, yes, Stan. It's just like you always say. If nobody challenges anybody else, one person is the group.
Somebody somehow misses the part of this where we say our numbers, and they're like, "Yeah, they all loved it."
Yeah. I was looking at it, the only person missing was just a producer on the original game, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, it was Sakaguchi, and he wrote all the live stream shit, but he also wrote the original script where it was about Detective Joe chasing terrorists.
Is that bad? I mean,
they literally kept none of it.
Okay. That could have been fine. We don't know.
So this is away from because we're going to go into the ending soon, and we're not going to fucking stop. So I have to get this out now. Does anybody else think this combat system would work real well in a Parasite Eve revival?
I think if
fourth birthday,
if all you can do is shoot a gun, then this combat system probably feels better.
That would make more sense.
But I swear to God, as I revisit multiple times the concept of this is what a remake is, you write in time goes to serve as a metaphor for audience expectations. I keep thinking I would have torn my face off if Resident Evil 3 remake or a Parasite Eve remake or a Chrono Trigger remake came out and did that.
Hey, you don't have to worry about them ever doing anything like that. Why don't you just finally play the third birthday?
I have. I just haven't beaten it because the problem with the third birthday is eventually you get to that nerd from the original game, Masuda, I believe his name was. I'm blanking right now. And he's the most discomforting fucking creep ever. And it's like, where is this coming from? What are you doing?
They could always make up with that dude. That's always a possibility.
I honestly, they could. I'm sure that dude wants money and so do they, but I don't expect it. I don't expect it at all. And that's fine.
Yeah, I'm tired of Square Enix come in with the thought of we need to make an action combat system when they aren't very good at it. So I honestly would just prefer turn-based if they're not going to fully deliver on an action system.
I mean, I kind of feel similarly. I feel like the movement and responsiveness of the actions and things in this don't feel as responsive as they should be for an action RPG. I honestly, I said this to Bob multiple times. I think Kingdom Hearts as an action combat system feels much more responsive than this.
I would agree. Yeah, it's more responsive, but I think they're going for two different things. This one's trying to be slower and is much more focused on the commands and that aspect of it, because they were originally going to make it more like a Kingdom Hearts type of thing and then switched gears to this, which I ended up appreciating.
Yeah, I think for me it lands in an uncanny valley. Where
it does.
Where most of Cloud's moves, his abilities, end up in a situation where if the enemy isn't locked down or staggered, it'll miss if they move literally 1 foot to the right. So you end up in a situation where you go,
tracking would be nice.
Forward thrust works, triple slash works, and if you're at the right distance and they aren't, which is kind of random, but if they aren't going to move, you can try to use the, what's it called? Sword blast. Anyone remember?
Blade beam.
Blade beam or whatever. That one's various ranges of safe when they're not completely paralyzed. But yeah, so having a lot of Cloud's abilities locked off in a world where many enemies in this travel 100 miles an hour or can move 1 foot, which is all they need to do to mess up your tracking. I think the combat for me ends up in an uncanny valley because of that. So I kind of agree with Bob on that. I would like to see something turn-based just because I think both are valid. I most of my life I've had a strong preference towards action RPGs over turn-based, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I think a really gorgeous turn-based game would have been perfectly fine. I think there's an apprehension to do it, though, at Square Enix because they want Final Fantasy to be the biggest possible franchise. Yeah. And I think they perceive, whether real or otherwise, it's up to people to debate, that action RPGs are what's necessary to make a truly mainstream game that people don't want to play.
Absolutely what they think.
Right. that people don't want to play a Dragon Quest or a Persona, which obviously Final Fantasy numbers are higher than at very least Persona. I don't have numbers on Dragon Quest, so I have no idea.
Yeah. It's weird because I feel like there's interesting ideas in this combat system too, but it just has so many like rough edges in hitboxes that makes zero sense.
Okay, that clip you put up where a thing teleport grabbed you like it was Dark Souls was funny as shit.
Yeah. Either give my dodge roll iframes or make it go 1 foot further.
Yeah, and I feel like almost every other enemy has something like that, where it's like, that clearly didn't hit anything, but I sure took damage.
Every single I'm gonna charge up and burst feels like it goes like 2 feet beyond the graphic.
Yeah, like they do all these fancy visual effects, and it's like, why didn't you make it as the hitbox that? Why is the hitbox twice that?
So yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel about the combat. I already expressed my feelings on the plot. I feel Hey KZ, you want to steer the conversation towards the ending because I can't. Phil wants to talk about the ending.
So now that we've been talking about this for over 2 hours now, so I think now's the time to finally get to the most important part, the end of the game. You do a lot of stuff in it.
Now, Bob, the phrase "most important" can be seen in 2 different lights.
Yes.
Yes. And the most important part was the very cool ending.
I think this has been a dividing element of this game, I feel. I think...
yeah.
We want our franchise to be the biggest possible. Let's put the stupidest thing we can in here.
Yeah. Bob...
no, let's put in something really cool and interesting.
Bob, your sibling from Astral Chain isn't in this game at all.
Their ghost is.
Oh, no. How do you even fucking describe this? So Sephiroth disappears into a ghost portal that is purple, and then Aerith turns it white, and then you meet on the crossroads of destiny to do a battle.
You kill Destiny. You
with
shoot
Fate
Destiny in
itself.
the base of the skull.
Yes.
You do.
You do that
Then
in the crossroads of destiny, and then ascend to the edge of creation after you defeat Sephiroth in Advent Children World.
That's not actually Sephiroth. I think we need to point that out. What you kill at the end of that game is not Sephiroth. That's a bunch of ghosts that combined into something that looks like Sephiroth to fight you.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Did you scan him and it told you?
No, but when Cloud chops him, he becomes ghosts. Like at the very end, when he does a big brave shot.
That is true. At the very end, they do the dramatic. The whole cast does their thing. He slashes them. It explodes into ghosts.
Literally, they are being as vague as possible because we don't know yet. They don't know yet. They've just put something here.
They
that have
know.
questions.
That's so disingenuous. I can't get behind that.
You just want to say
all.
they don't know about things so you can own them.
Uh-huh.
Bob, there was nothing about any scenes or writing in this that was obtuse or obfuscating any obvious meaning.
It's not lost. Definitely isn't lost.
Bob, there is no secret box in this. It is not lost.
I want to touch on before we get too deep into this of like how I feel that this is completely like against everything that Final Fantasy VII is. Final Fantasy VII, I feel, is a very strong science fiction piece of work. Everything here is fate-related destiny nonsense that has just been put in here because they just don't know what to write. Like they literally can't.
I disagree so strongly.
Like everything in Final Fantasy VII is a scientific reason. Like you use magic because we've concentrated these crystals from the planet to let you use magic. Everything is kind of based into that. It doesn't have anything like predetermined fate, which is a writing like thing I absolutely hate. Seeing anything just get caught up on that and then to do it this much in this game is really frustrating. Yeah, and there's literally fighting ghosts from the future, trying to protect the future, is so far beyond the pale that it's frustrating. Does anyone else, like, does someone think that Final Fantasy VII isn't science fiction and that this is in line with the tone of that game at all?
I don't think it's really opposed. Like, you go to Cloud's inner personality as Tifa, when you fall into the giant stream of everyone who has ever died. Like, she has a materia called Holy that pops up to stop the evil Satan magic at the end.
Like, the planet's energy is like, the life stream doesn't really, that feels more like a mystical type of thing, so I never really got that vibe. I always thought it was like a fusion, where it's like science fiction elements slamming against more traditional fantasy elements. So this, in terms of that, did not feel necessarily out of place, like tonally, with the original in that way.
I understand that the live stream is its own thing, so then you're like, oh well, there's also this ghost live stream is really weird and doesn't fit in line with the thought of the live stream, because it being the souls of all the humans that have died and all the things of the earth or of the planet that have died.
I mean, okay,
is its own thing.
Let me just break it down in blunt terms for Bob. The original Final Fantasy VII doesn't involve timeline travel, spiritual or otherwise, and doesn't involve fatalism as a concept, as a theme. He hates that shit. Like, as for me, I think the best parts of this game have nothing to do with those fucking ghosts. I don't think and I've said it multiple times, so I really don't need to say it again, but to wrap a neat little bow on it in the correct section of this podcast instead of a random part, I don't think the Whispers of Destiny, the Edge of Creation, and Sephiroth saying cryptic phrases such as, there are 7 seconds until the end, I'm curious what you'll do with it. Things like that really contribute well to anything else in the story. I don't think Cloud is an interesting character to tackle the concept of fate and defying it, nor was that his original thing. And, as I said before, I'm not here complaining about they made changes. I think some of the better stuff at this is shit that is completely original to it. Like, that's the stuff that delighted me.
Like the new characters, like
Roche.
Leslie.
Leslie isn't new. He's from the Turks novel.
It's
the
new
kids are all right.
Yeah, fuck. Who read Turk's Side Story, which is a sequel to Final Fantasy VII that reveals Don Corneo does not die when he falls in Final Fantasy VII. He actually survived and is wheelchair bound, and he likes looking at pictures of Cloud in a dress.
Jesus
in a black
fucking
book he
Christ.
owns.
Jesus
That's
fucking
real.
Christ.
Before we fly off the cliff,
Also written by Nojima.
Before we fly off the cliff even more,
look, as I said, people blaming Nomura fucking is stupid as hell.
And the only reason I would say blaming him as stupid as hell is because they do that with every fucking game that has him even tangentially doing anything, even drawing a thing. I mean, that's the reason that I kind of took umbrage with, people doing that.
I mean, to be fair, it is absolutely fair to blame the director of a game for the game. That's the role of a director, is to be responsible and give the go-ahead on everything. But not every terrible writing decision comes exclusively from Nomura, as KZ just shared with us in his
Yes, it's
a group effort.
No, the writer of Final Fantasy VII Remake wrote a book about Final Fantasy X taking place after 10-2. He just kicks a blitzball that turned out to be a bomb that blew him up. Also, I think Sin and Seymour come back, setting up a Final Fantasy X-3 that I never want to play.
Which they're never going to make.
What about Final Fantasy X Remake?
You know what? Sure, why not? Why not? I want to see. There's already ghosts in that. What are they going to do there? Real people?
No, they're going to do cyberpunk.
Oh, it's all going to be... No, I don't like that. I don't like them putting some cyberpunk shit into Final Fantasy X.
They're going to turn it into The Last of Us.
Orin goes, you thought I'd let you do this alone? Boo.
It is not Final Fantasy X-3. You're misremembering. It's Final Fantasy X 2.5 Price of Eternity.
I'm saying it's setting up a Final Fantasy X-3.
Right. I believe that same writer also said that Final Fantasy VII was in that universe too.
Now, well, of
like
course,
on a different planet.
If you went to the Shinra, if you went to the Shinra headquarters, you go there, You go to the exhibit, there is a big ass photo from the past of them establishing Shinra. You look, one of them's wearing a gas mask. The exact same one as the character Shinra from Final Fantasy X-2. They made it canon. They finally did it.
It is just him wearing a gas. That first of all, that picture has Barrett and Dine in it. They're up there in the corner because he's with the coal miners in Corel. He's wearing a coal miner.
It's the only person wearing the gas mask. And it's been a theory that they have talked about for a while. It's appeared in like 3 different Final Fantasy guidebooks.
Anyway, we're really getting off of the weeds here. Bob made his argument for why he fucking absolutely hates the ending.
And everything involving the ghosts, where they're like, no, it needs to be the same. It's so bad.
I would like to hear Phil.
It sounds like you're one of the ghosts.
I would like to hear Phil express what he likes about the ending, any sort of themes, or what it means for the franchise going forward, and things like that. I want Phil to talk about the ending, since Phil wants Phil to talk about the ending.
Well, I had to think about it a lot. I rewatched a bunch of it. I replayed it once. I think, and all this could be fucking bullshit. I could all be me reading into shit, and Bob is right. Nomura just included a million things, and he could figure out what it meant later. But I think there's enough consistency for my argument. In like the last hour of the game, they almost exclusively show the ghosts helping you. They revive Barrett from his ghost stab, which, by the way, this game should have been rated M.
They curse constantly. How can they not get away with one bloody shot?
Oh no, President Shinra, voiced by Skullface from MGS5.
God, thank God I'm not the only one who fucking died the whole game.
I could only hear him,
I'm the president of Shinra. Get in this Jeep with me.
Now, I know nothing about that, but I saw 4 separate people on my timeline going, this is destroying me.
No, it's the best. It's the best casting ever.
I've been stabbed. Gray smoke is coming out of my chest.
Also, I thought it was lame how Biggs and Jessie were like, oh, we're dying from the dust on our face, because that's the only injuries there are. But apparently both of them survived, so I guess I can't complain about that anymore. Thanks, Koji. Thanks, Nomura.
Yeah.
But in the last hour of the game, they save Barrett. They save the entire party when the helicopter crashes into their face.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes right after they kill Wedge. So the player is more inclined to be mad at them. Also, they suck and interrupt the game constantly. So I think it's safe that the player will be teed off of them. But then the ending where you fight Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa.
Yes.
And then Aerith saying, oh, we're going to a beautiful, terrifying freedom. And then at the end, she looks up and says, I miss the steel sky, which is obviously destiny. And then Sephiroth basically showing up after you kill them, being like, thanks, bro. You did me a solid. I needed them gone so I could win.
He really needs a win right now.
I think
it definitely did have a vibe of he wants those ghosts gone, because maybe he knows that he lost initially.
I could say something that'll just make Bob so upset, but I don't.
Go ahead.
We're 2 hours into this podcast.
Okay,
this is what this is for.
You only ever see Sephiroth in person in the crater, and everything else is Genova. What if there's just 2 Sephiroths? What if that's a Sephiroth from some other timeline?
Yeah, no, that's probably it. It's the dumbest thing to do.
Again, that's the thing I've most commonly seen people say. People going, this is Advent Children Sephiroth after being defeated travels back in time in an attempt to make things right.
I don't think it'll be that, but we'll see. But
it sounds dire, yeah.
The 2 big themes in Final Fantasy VII are life and death, specifically how death can be sudden and undramatic and really painful. And the other is self-acceptance, basically. Self-actualization, realizing the truth about yourself and being able to accept it. Like, Barrett pretends that he cares about the planet, but he doesn't. He wants to punish Shinra for killing everybody he ever knew. And, Cloud literally adopting a different person's identity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all the self-acceptance stuff is still in this game. There's a really good scene where Barrett gets shit-talked by President Shinra and has no answer because Shinra is right. Like, Barrett doesn't actually give a shit about the stuff he says he does. And even Shinra can see it. But life and death, Aerith is the most famous character death in video game history. The way to revive Aerith fucking Easter egg hunt that the internet went on after this game came out lasted like a decade until like data mining tools came out and were like, nah, bro, it's over. Square Enix encouraged it, or Squaresoft at the time, with like the ghost Easter egg where you can find her ghost in Disc 3. And if you get too close to it, it disappears. So it's like my interpretation is, one, they're going to, this killing Fate is not going to be a good thing. It's going to be a you fucked up bad, and now the other changes will be dealing with how you fucked up. And I also think this will be in service to the life and death thing, because now they can kill whoever the fuck they want. And there's also the element that you have to move on, and being really obsessed with somebody who has died is self-destructive and will hurt you and the people around you. And I really think they're going to do something like that with Aerith. Maybe she won't die in the same way, and it will cause somebody else to die.
So this is incredibly selfish, but I would like to reply to what Phil said instead of letting anyone else talk.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just killed other people to begin with. They didn't have to make this game this way to make changes like that and it be surprising or original. Nothing makes them shoot off this warning round that things can be different this time. What you're saying is correct, but we didn't need a whole game to justify that things can be different and deaths can be shocking. In fact, this game already tried to go in that direction a bit, but the ghosts literally keep it from doing that. I feel like you don't need an entire game to announce that changes are possible within this universe and people may die who weren't supposed to die. And I do think the introduction of these ghosts does drown the themes you spoke of specifically.
Yeah, when literally Barrett can die and be brought back to life, that kind of ruins that. Like,
in while feels right, the next game that is not possible, as far as we know right now.
Right, as far as we know right now.
Because they've killed Destiny itself.
Destiny.
Which I'm not even going to say is unlike Final Fantasy. You do shit like that in Final Fantasy. It's usually not executed in this manner, but yeah, I do, like, as Bob just said, I feel like the ghosts reviving Barrett after that does cheapen death. In fact, this game cheapens death a lot, I feel, overall. But you were...
Well, that's why I mentioned the part about obsessing and wanting to save people. That's going to be... that desire that people have had, for 25 years. You see a lot of people saying, I waited 25 years for this remake, because apparently they were waiting for it the moment they finished the game.
Yeah.
But you have those people like, these characters die. Well, it'll be, you're still hung up on these characters? Well, that's self-destructive. You need to let things go even like this.
You could have just made changes, like the Resident Evil 3 remake and the Resident Evil 2 remake definitely changed things in those games. They weren't major, but you can do that. You can just make changes that are tonally fitting and make it obvious things aren't going to be the same by changing things in this game. Like, if they literally had killed Barrett at the end of this game, that would stink. He's like one of my favorite characters, but that would set a precedent for this isn't going to be the same.
But the idea that specifically they're changing it to save these characters, which is obviously what you're meant to draw from Big still being alive and Jesse's glove being there, and then that leading to negative effects is something you did need all this stupid bullshit to do.
But they haven't done that yet.
They haven't. I think they're going to do it.
And the main characters didn't even know Biggs and Jesse survived.
But the player did.
I don't. Go ahead, Dan, if you had more.
No, I just said I'm not going to review the plot of this game based on what I expect the sequel to be, extrapolating out how they might deliver on themes. I'm just going to point out that they could have easily have executed, as you and I have said, they could have done that in this one. There was no need to have these Destiny ghosts and then remove these Destiny ghosts. The only reason you would do that, in my opinion, is so that way you don't have to kill a main character by the end of this one to send that message. Which really, you didn't need to kill a main character. You could have kept a character alive. You could have removed a character from this one that should have been in this one. You could have made a drastic change that showed that things are going to be different this time. And really, if the theme is you need to get over the fact this character is going to die, wouldn't fatalism actually lean into that more because we know Aerith's going to die?
Well, no, because it wouldn't tell you that your desire to see her live is self-destructive.
I don't think this game effectively communicates that.
Well, that's because it hasn't done it yet.
I'm talking about this game, not the future game in my brain.
Well then, no, it doesn't do that. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying that's my read on it.
I respect Feel's optimism on the future as much as I respect Dan's non-optimism on the future.
I mean, look, I'm not saying I'm pessimistic about the future. I think it's got a better chance of being good with me on plot than this one did, because presumably
because they killed the thing you don't like.
Yes.
I have no confidence in that meaning anything. I feel like the ghost being here is precedence for them to do any number of other random ghosts being here.
And that's my deepest fear, but I do not think it is likely, and this fucking podcast will look even more prophetic than the fucking spoiler or gamer premonitions if Bob is right. And that will suck.
I will say that if the ghosts are in any future games, I will also be mad because they feel annoying deliberately.
I mean, they
are.
They do literally yank around the ankle.
They are intentionally annoying.
Yeah.
They are intentionally annoying when it's... The only time I liked them was when they took Hojo away, because I thought that was hilarious.
Dan, did you guys notice? Like, I didn't put this together. Dan told me afterwards. The ghost attacked the town so they can break Jessie's ankle so that the Bomber Round 2 hell happens with Cloud. Yep. They could have just had the Bomber Run 2 happen without Cloud. They could have done anything. But whatever. They've decided that they just don't know how to write something without putting in fate and destiny. It's terrible.
Well, you could put it fate...
Or they, you can consciously choose it.
Look, Bob, some people like a heavy hand.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Wedge does. He got one in that one scene.
I'd also like to add that the reason this doesn't annoy me as much as it could is because this is like basically beating you over the head from moment one, which they should have. I'm not going to defend the marketing of this. The marketing of this was not great.
That was insane.
This is obviously intended to be a companion piece to the original, or like Bob's premonition, a weird sequel. So it doesn't bother me as much.
It is dependent on you playing a 23-year-old game, so it doesn't bother you as much.
Yeah, I think the ending, like,
I think
to an outsider, is absolute just stupidity.
Oh, yep, it's fucking nonsense. But the reason I'm not talking about me as in a general, like, people. I mean, me personally. I don't give a fuck how other people feel.
Yeah, no, I know.
People on this podcast most of the time.
It would be insane to speculate right now, like, my review's based on the average Joe. Like, I'm talking to you about how you feel.
But it doesn't, like, okay, so ideally, someone played the original and got the really good, solid game. So if this shits its pants and dies in the next two games, it'll be like, well, they still played the good thing. That this won't get mistaken for a replacement, and then I'll have to have arguments with people forever.
That's true.
I think some of the source of frustration is that people just literally wanted a remake of Final Fantasy VII.
I understand that frustration.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I was gonna say I totally understand that frustration. Though Final Fantasy as a franchise has been very special to me as a person my entire life. Like, I grew up with Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, and 9. And 10 came in too late for me to grow up with that. Not because I was a full-grown adult. Don't make age jokes. Anyways. I more than sympathize with the people who wanted to see a remake of 7. I don't need that. But I can easily see how if, like I said earlier, if any of these games like Secret of Mana, Parasite Eve, these games that are really, really core to me got a remake announced, and then I waited, say 5 years. I don't remember exactly when they announced it, for it to come out, and then it became this. I could totally understand why they were this upset. That's not me. For me, it's the game on a technical level, the game on a combat level, which I would still like to know. Combat better than 15. And how I feel about this. Oh God,
Jesus
it's so
Christ.
It's so fucking true. But
the smallest hurdle in the fucking world, dude.
Dan's like, it didn't
press
trip
button.
coming off the curb.
I mean, I gotta be honest, that's the point of reference for the series, because Final Fantasy hasn't exactly been firing on all cylinders. When people are critical of Final Fantasy and everyone goes, well, after the second try on that single MMO installment, they got it nailed, I think that says a lot about most of the recent entries in the franchise.
You know how scared I was? I was like, we're getting close to the end. Is the money going to run out again? And then I was like, oh no, the money went up. What is this?
Yeah, it did feel that way. The middle of that game felt dry a little bit, except for Wall Market.
But KZ, you were gonna say stuff.
Oh yeah. When I was reading like old interviews for while they were making this game, it came up 2 or 3 times, and now I can definitely see what they meant by it. Where Nomura and even Kitase said something to the effect of, if we were going to remake one of our games where it's like, we're going to make it turn-based again, the gameplay is going to stay the same, the story is going to stay the same, we're basically going to hand it off to someone else and do nothing with it at all. Because why would we? There's a level of, if we're going to start making something from the ground up again and putting all of our energy into it, we're going to want to do something with it beyond just doing it again.
Yeah.
Which, given what their plan ultimately was, I'm like, I get it. You don't want to spend 15 more years on a thing you already did.
He did another thing.
Real quick, go into that, because my comment's short. KZ, and once again, nothing I say in this podcast is to piss anyone off. This is just how I feel. I absolutely get that impression, and I absolutely sympathize, but that's nothing short of masturbatory and self-serving. What were you going to say, Phil?
Kitase did like a thing basically on the day this was supposed to originally come out, where it's like, we changed a bunch of stuff, big things, because we thought if we just, remake the game, basically, like, his argument, his statement was basically that it would be he would feel shallow, and it would mostly be pandering to nostalgia instead of making anybody feel anything new.
Right. That sort of thing, though, like, imagine it's a movie or a story in some other format, like a book being retold, a classic tale, and the director, the auteur of sorts, inserts themselves and puts their own twist on it that's very overpowering and sort of, as I said, in my opinion, detracts from the original in some ways. That is often seen as completely self-serving or masturbatory. That's the thrust of what I'm, been saying here, which I'm not saying you're both wrong. I'm just explaining my perspective. Has
there ever been a movie remade by the same director?
By the same director?
Yeah.
Usually you don't see, well, I mean, Lucas remastered some films. Does that count?
I did want to.
This has a lot of that energy to it, doesn't it?
No, because no one CG edited a lizard.
Just wait until the next 2 games, Dan, where Jessie is CG'd into scenes she wasn't in originally. By the way,
I will love that
Bob,
if that happens.
What's up?
Jessie survived, so your Jessie is also an ancient theory still on the table.
Did I say that?
It might have been everybody getting spun into a nonsense spiral, but somebody was like, Jessie will survive and be Aerith.
And she's the Aerith, yes.
God.
Yeah, that was a thing.
That did come up. And we have some really good ideas.
Since we're talking about my predictions, Do you guys want to know where
Oh,
I think
fuck.
that there are two distinct possibilities for this?
Okay.
This ending
Sure.
gives them two very distinct routes.
Okay.
One, they use this as a way to release a new Final Fantasy VII tie-in game every other year, and it's always bad. It's like a spin-off.
Yeah, of course.
It's terrible.
Final Fantasy VII, and it's based on the Zack timeline that he survives and returns to Midgar.
That is
Right.
almost. I think that'll be in the remakes, but that's a possibility.
They use this as a reason that they don't need to actually remake all that much, and that they can just go ahead and have only one more game, and it wraps everything up.
Bob, if there's one thing this game and the amount of stairs you climbed up taught us.
Yes.
That part was the best, where the music distorts and shit.
I like what they were going for with everything there. The dialogue was hilarious. I really loved the dialogue in this game.
I did not do the elevator. I need to go through that again and see.
Oh,
what
fuck.
Yeah, I did.
The
I went back and did
elevator's
that. It's pretty good.
bullshit. The elevator's bullshit. Here's why.
Why?
You go all through the fucking Shinra HQ. They don't bring back the Shinra middle manager man. That is a missed
I love that
opportunity
guy.
that is inexcusable. Who, by the way, Shinra middle manager guy, more faith in the power of white privilege than any fictional character in history. He picks
He
a fight
basically
with a
just said-
7-foot tall man with a black man with a gun for an arm.
He just said white privilege, and then they go, yeah,
My white
absolutely.
He's picked that fight with Barrett and is like, my whiteness will protect me.
I didn't take it quite as that. I took it as him going, bootlicking, and then they clapped.
By the way, speaking of bootlicking, underrated moment, Heidegger being like vice president, and Rufus ignores him, and then Sung shows up and is like, president, and Rufus addresses him, and Heidegger's like, oh, I got bootlicking owned.
That and Heidegger hyping up Airbuster, and they're like, it's not done. I'm on air.
My favorite delivery in the game is Heidegger going be like, it's so hard to find good help these days, which is why the president should be grateful he has me. It's so good.
I turned to Bob and I was like, for some reason, Heidegger here just makes me think this is how GameStop upper management acts.
They're all just voiced by John DiMaggio.
Oh my God, was that him?
Yes.
I
Also known
legitimately
for great
didn't
roles
recognize-
such as Bender from Futurama
Yeah.
or Waka from Final Fantasy X.
I didn't.
Oh
recognize-
God, there's a little bit of Bender in his
Okay.
performance as Heidegger.
Yeah, there is. Now that you've
Yes,
said it,
there
I
is.
noticed it.
Huh.
I didn't even.
Mm-hmm.
But we gotta wrap this. This is the longest spoiler cast we've ever done, and I'm gonna die editing it in a rush manner.
I'm so sorry.
It's good content, and I think everyone understands, and everyone will be understanding when they comment, and everyone will be understanding when they don't randomly tweet at us for some shit we said in this where we're expressing our opinion, and you consuming it is voluntary. Me being tweeted at you isn't. Me being tweeted at by you
Don't
is...
tweet at me. I will already forget what I said.
That's... I'm gonna be honest, audience. That's the number one trend. Somebody tweets some shit at us and we go, we said what? Huh? Because to us, we're just talking. It's not like we scripted.
Then you save clips of it and make it fucking soundboard bites, and I have to wonder, when did I say the red pill dimension?
For men going their own way.
That's what happens. That's where they go at the end of Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yes, because they've opened their eyes. They're no longer slaves to fate. I've spent forever expressing my exact opinions. I definitely don't need to retouch on the plot in my closing statements. I will retouch on the texture streaming stuff just doesn't work. It takes way too long to talk to people. The combat system, though I seem to be an idiot savant at it, it's good.
I'm mad. I'm actually mad.
I'm also
this was easy
upset.
for me. Meanwhile, I'm getting my ass rocked by bosses sometimes. I know what every mechanic is, except apparently multi-use items.
Except for the thing that keeps you from popping a menu up 40 fucking times.
Does everyone know about the materia menu and how to look at everyone with materia at once?
Yeah,
Yes.
Bob blew my fucking mind with that. I was like,
I
excuse
didn't know
me?
how to
If
do
you-
that.
If you hit R1 instead of hitting triangle, a menu with all of them are there so you can switch out the whole party.
He's dead. You killed him.
Yep, because that's the most useful shit in the whole game.
It is. But yeah, the plot, I talked about it. The technical problems, I mostly talked about it. The squeeze throughs are unreal in their quantity. And I consider this separate from just like my thoughts on plot themes, etc. The plot pacing, when they shove huge amounts of not so progressive plot, like plot that isn't going anywhere. Like all the action freezes so you can do this miniature dungeon in Midgar, in this tightly paced thing, in my opinion. It feels bad going through, and this game really needs some patches, and it just doesn't have them, and I don't know when they're coming. God, I hope they're coming. Your door's a poster board. It looks kind of bad.
This is the worst time for certain events to have happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. I said this year is the perfect year technology-wise for new consoles and the worst time societally for new consoles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say that, like, I give this game a 7 out of 10. It probably would have gotten an 8 out of 10 if certain parts of the plot, the thing that is the main crux of the plot in this game, didn't just absolutely aggravate me beyond belief. And it absolutely would have gotten higher if it didn't have all these technical problems. And I feel like one of the larger things, outside of even the combat design, is just the squeeze-throughs are insane.
Yeah, replaying this game is going to be a nightmare.
The way I described it, and this is definitely where this goes, this is like somebody retold the story of an Uncharted game, so you already know what the story is, but they added even more squeeze-throughs and tons of technical problems. It is the least replayable game, to me, ever. So I'm just waiting for the PS5. I'm waiting for the patches. I'm going to try this at the end of this year. I hope to God they improve it.
They can't remove squeeze-throughs and patches, right? That would be too much.
They could technically speed up you going through the
yes, that's
but
what
that
I'm thinking.
I don't expect.
They could just make it like you just go 8 times faster through squeeze-throughs.
I literally just don't want to stare at Chadley for another hour of my life.
If they added a button on replay to skip talk sequences, just like, oh, we're talking and squeezing through stuff, just skip us ahead, please.
It's a toggle in the system options that just says everyone shut the fuck up. But yeah, I didn't uninstall it because I absolutely hate everything about this game. By the end of the game, I had no interest in replaying it because it has so many problems, and I did not love the ending at all. And that comes up all the way throughout. That's basically all my comments. KZ, would you like to go next?
Sure. I do have problems with the game. I wish there were more things that were actually skippable, whether it's like phase changes during boss fights, certain talking to NPC stuff, because some of it is, if it's like a scene where the text automatically goes. I wish some of that was skippable in some way for repeat playthroughs. The way to 100% this game is somewhat psychotic, in that you have to go to a certain chapter and then go through, skip 1.5 cutscenes, fight a battle, and go through an elevator to get to a room to do battles.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that, just let there be an option to warp to it. Like, do whatever video gamey thing you need to do that. There's stuff like that I generally think is a little... Obviously, texture stuff, load stuff, where sometimes if you select give up on a mini game, it's faster than losing the mini game and having to load to do it again. Stuff like that, not great.
Yeah.
Some of these things pretty much all of these could potentially get solved through patches. Definitely on PS5, like loading would be better. So there's that. I really thoroughly enjoyed this game. I like the combat system they were going for. The fact that it does feel interesting to constantly switch up what materia you're using to take down these enemies. All the bosses were really fun for me. The soundtrack was incredible. And after several years of Final Fantasy games fucking up in some way, where 13, like, problems with HD game development, 14, nightmare at launch, and they had to make it again. 15 came out with holes all over it. It feels good to see a Final Fantasy that has a decent amount of confidence again, that feels high budget throughout, where, you know, it doesn't feel like the money ran out when I'm reaching the end of the game, which is probably the worst part of 15 for me. So that was really refreshing. I enjoyed pretty much everything with the game. I think the ending is really interesting. I'm looking forward to where they go next with this thing. I'm giving it a 9. I can't really go higher given the amount of weird shit and technical issues that exist in it.
Okay. I guess we'll go to Bob.
Sure. Given the way like the combat feels and all the general problems, like I still enjoy it. Like, it's still an enjoyable game to go through, but I could almost never see doing the whole thing again. I might end up doing it for that hard mode trophy, but like KZ was saying, all that
I'm trapped.
That post game stuff is
trapped, man.
It's psychotic. It's like, why does it work like this? But
yeah, I know. I get that it's a linear game, but why?
But
Yeah,
why?
that's the number one reason I uninstalled it. It wasn't like, oh, fuck this game, I hope I see it in hell. It's just like, oh, that's what no.
Yeah, like, and then the trophy for getting every dress. I'm like, I don't want to play through that mission another 3 times, and while after going through 2 other whole chapters 3 times.
Oh yeah, it's really weird. For watching a streamer, it's basically like, all right, you go to chapter 8, you do the quest, finish it, then skip to this chapter to get that.
Yeah, but for Tifa dress, you have to do the entirety of chapter 3. Like, do every side quest in the slums.
And I'm just doing that shit on easy.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
But yeah, there's lots of weird choices. I feel like the combat could be a lot better. I think that the backgrounds being still images is really bad.
You know, Bob,
really
I
funny if that
honestly,
changes in a patch.
honestly, Bob, I was like, this isn't great, but it's not the worst. And then I started clanging towards the steel plate. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I was like, this is just unbelievable. How would you do this?
That
was the thing that looked so terrible to me that I laughed. I'm like, this is funny.
Yeah.
My brain just goes, what is this? Is this the limit of this console? What's going on?
We're there. We're at the edge of creation.
They only had 7 seconds, and this is what they made.
I'm gonna throw myself off the edge of creation. Hopefully, I land on the PS5.
But
what
yeah,
would you do in your 7 seconds? Go to Amazon.
It's weird.
I'll use the 7 seconds to call GameStop and change my $50 from Dead Island 2 to the PS5.
a good use.
Now the ultimate plan.
Yeah, it's such a mixed bag. Final Fantasy VII is this weird thing where it gets like a buff because it's able to play a song and show me an area remade, and I almost am in tears. But it then sacrifices all of that with the ending.
It's just shaking you constantly.
Yeah, it's rough. If this like negate everything with the last 2 hours of this game, like the Barrett dying, coming back to life, and the whole ending. Like, if none of that was here, it'd probably be like a 7, maybe an 8 at most. But since the ending exists, I have to rate this on Feels Resident Evil 4 remake scale. It gets a 0 or a 10. This game gets a 0.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's literally, it took everything I loved about Final Fantasy VII, spit in my face, and got rid of it. So, yeah. I can never take it seriously again. It gives me reason to distrust anything from the main creative staff at Square Enix ever again. So yeah, that's my rating.
Now, I've heard from people that that's a scale that makes sense, that people being feel. So now half of this podcast network thinks it's 0 or a 10.
I cannot believe this shit. Bob's the bravest motherfucker on earth. People constantly, I've seen people call Bob the IGN of the Big Think group. And he comes out here with this.
And Bob
I respect it.
That's
the same way I respect the creative staff at Square for what they've done.
You know what's going to be funny?
Brave.
It's going to be
What's
funny.
that?
Dan's going to get more shit for his 7 than Bob's going to get for his
I
0.
can't believe Dan gave it a 0. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, it won't be that. It will not be that. It will be people will be madder at Dan for giving it a 7 than at Bob for giving it a 0.
Even though my neutral score was a 7.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Bob can't be IGN. He just used the whole scale.
He used it on Pokemon too. I don't get where this is coming from.
This is the future that gamers wanted. So, Phil, I'm excited to hear your synopsis of your feelings and your score.
I don't have very many problems with the ending. I don't think it was conveyed particularly well. I think the ghost dimension where you shoot the giant specter of fate was maybe a little bit excessive and not good. Even if my read on the Arbiters of Fate being deliberately annoying, they were still annoying. Also, it has a bunch of technical problems that Dan and KZ already went through. So I'm gonna give this an 8, and if it gets even moderate patching, I'd probably give it a 9. It'll be a 9 on the PS5. The PS5 will inject it with a point.
It's just like shooting a fucking steroid in the ass.
Well, I'm glad that we've come to this decision that, yes, indeed, Astral Chain is a better game than Final Fantasy VII Remake by a whole 2 points.
I'll sign up for that.
You know, as the person who gave both of these games the same score, because I'm going to get shit anyways, I don't fucking care. My emotional ride with Final Fantasy VII Remake, surprisingly similar to my emotional ride with Astral Chain.
Yeah, Dan brought that up with me early on, like when I was still in a wall market, and I was like, no, don't compare this to Astral Chain. Don't do that.
Keep in mind, I was behind Bob. I was way behind Bob. I gave Bob a whole day heads up because I didn't want to spoil an ounce of this game for Bob. You know, couldn't do that to the man.
You know,
he's been looking forward to this.
Leslie has a real Astral Chain energy where he's holding a gun to Don Corneo's head and he's like, I'll just stand here and get owned.
That was great.
You know, I've said it a lot, but I can't stress it enough. I really do like a lot of the characters and the character writing.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I thought I would fucking hate Leslie by the end of it.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't.
Luckily, if you read the Turk side story, the kids are all right. He does find his Beyonce and they get married.
Aw.
Spoilers.
But that's a different timeline, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's in the sequel to Final Fantasy VII. It would never have been shown anyway.
Well, I think most of the people on the staff, if not all, are looking forward to them patching this.
Yeah.
Please.
Maybe looking forward to next gen loosening up some sort of limits that this game may have been under.
I am begging you, Square Enix. Get rid of Squeeze Through DLC for $15. I'll buy it.
add a DLC where you spend $15. You press a button, you switch to Barrett. Every squeeze through can be shot and broken.
Actually, no, he just Kool-Aid Mans through.
No, that
Yes,
still takes
please.
time. That still takes time.
Yeah, that's why he's got to do the Tager rush attack through the wall.
Just have Cloud jump over all of them, at least all the ones that can be jumped over.
Well, we thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Spoilercast. We thank you for being very respectful in the comments and not randomly tweeting at me that I think a thing that you don't.
You are so afraid of these comments.
No, at this point, I'm just like, I'm just openly putting in this, hey, if you're a person who tweets at them that you disagree with them, you need to find better shit to do with your time, bro.
You're the planet of Final Fantasy VII. The comments are the meteor.
So who's the ghost? Bob, are you the ghost?
I hope not.
You're very well written.
This GigaBoots video was brought to you by the arcane powers of our executive producers, Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Starfalcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, and 32X Wen. Thank you very much to our powerful executive producers. And also these guys. If you like this video and want to lend us your power, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.